I am this different dog.
Step 1, don't fuck it up. Failed step. Step 2, failed step 1.
I mean, I'm still waiting.
Step 3,
like
Step 3, axe in my sternum.
well, we actually get to see if that happens this session, which is going to be interesting.
You couldn't smell it when you were leaving, Paul, so it's a good start.
That was just a bad roll, but I did.
Now you know. Now you won't know what smell you're looking out for.
I'm just gonna just Ranagash, give me one of your portents. It's like, why? Don't ask. I did this.
Just had this vision of like Marcusar very intensely sniffing the air for no reason.
You just have this strong inclination Marcusar has hay fever all of a sudden, which is really questionable since he lived in a forest his entire life.
It's a different type of grass.
Yes.
The reason why pollen is so potent in cities and why hay fever is more common than ever is because they overplant male trees as opposed to female trees, which means that when it comes time for the trees to procreate, the males put out an excess level of pollen into the air, which leads to a drastic increase in the pollen count, which is why hay fever is so severe.
Have you been telling me that I've been breathing in plant nut this whole time?
Yes.
Damn.
See, this is
being
why.
allergic to plant semen.
This is why when I start the recording and I let you boys go off on your tangents, I should stop it before it gets bad. I should just do the intro and shut you guys up, because now I'm really sorry. Why?
I told a wholesome plant fact. It's not wholesome. But I told a plant fact.
How do you have that meme to hand?
I remembered it, so I knew what to Google. So now I just have on my search history, imagine getting fucking destroyed by plant cum, because I knew the image I wanted.
As I welcome you all back to Twisted Fates, I want to die. I think Ewan wants to join me.
No. We'll restart this one. No, we're just
we're going with this one.
I speak for the trees. The trees want to break your fucking knees.
I can't hear that though, because they're speaking in Vietnamese.
Welcome to Twisted Fates.
Yeah. I apologize.
Where we play Dungeons and Dragons most of the time.
Most of the time?
No.
Some of the time.
It's a good 80% of the time. Most of the 20% other, Ewan dies.
Just fucking left.
We'll talk about random bullshit and then occasionally go on tangents about Dungeons and Dragons at this point.
Yeah, occasionally. Where
people argue and on occasion a D&D game breaks out.
Where I will wait for Ewan's cam to get back and then give you guys the recap, as you get to see what actually happens when Ewan disconnects occasionally. As last session... Oh no.
Oh, the plant cum guard.
Shut the fuck up, Paul. You're already
on thin fucking ice as it is.
Thank you, Ewan.
You're systematically pissing off everyone in this party. It's quite impressive, actually.
What did he start with?
You.
Me!
Well, actually, it was you and Ewan, because he killed an innocent man.
That is a good point.
Session 0.
Session 2, actually.
Session 2. Kills innocent man. How I've grown.
As yes, if Paul sits quietly in the corner whilst I do a recap, that'd be really nice.
To the bad boy corner.
Thank you. Last session, the boys arrived in Thornsgard to no welcome at all. The streets were empty. There were some lights on in the local tavern, but that wasn't the priority, as Wulfric led the party to the Vine and the Thorn, Sophia's flower shop, where he was relieved to find her alive and well, though perhaps slightly bemused at the fact that Ranagash's future vision, where he saw her in a wheelchair, hadn't come true yet. As she was able to stand, she had all functionality of her limbs as well as both of her legs. However, she wasn't too happy to see him.
I wonder why.
He got his head kind of knocked with a plant pot and got berated for quite some time, where fair enough, she did make some good points. He had been around for 4 months and hadn't messaged her until, 3.5 months into his journey. She went to his funeral and still had no word that he was actually alive. The town had been turned upside down. Her father was gone. Most of the people in the town were gone. The Iron Dragons seemingly had abandoned Thornsgard, taking their money and just kind of legging it. And yeah, Ewan was speechless. For perhaps the first time in a long time.
First time in my life.
Oh damn, that's impressive.
I just don't shut up.
And you made him shut up, Em.
As they then kind of pottered around Thornsgard, they spoke to the residents that were left. Well, at least 5 of the 6 of them that are left. Silor is still a bit of a mystery, cooped up in his library. Though they did go and speak to Mikkel at the chapel. Interesting conversations between him and Wulfric, and then obviously interesting conversations later between him and Markassar, which led to Markassar getting another task from Gairdra, as in the meantime, well, Wulfric, Eidolon and Ranagash were sending off letters. Though I guess it wasn't all doom and gloom. You guys got a very good meal cooked by Wulfric and Sam Kingfisher, the halfling that's kind of been running the town with Sophia, though Wulfric himself was rather oblivious to the fact that whilst he was singing his merry tune and cooking his fantastic stew, gaining proficiency in cooking tools, that Markassar was talking to Eidolon about the task he had been given, the fact that he has to brand Sophia's building so that she can be taken by a shade. The fact that he missed Ranagash find a blighted crystal in one of his pauldrons. Ranagash then, on Eidolon's behest, attempted to see how the crystal got on his person, ended up in an inky black void with the Scourged Lord. Eidolon obviously breaking Ranagash out of that vision, very, very painfully, with 33 damage. Eidolon then accusing Markassar and, well, rightfully accusing Markassar of putting the crystal there in the first place and threatening more death, before they actually got to sit down and have a really pleasant meal. All this all this stuff in the background. Sadly it wasn't with a 27. But with good food, I guess things turned that little bit more saddening towards the end of last session, where as Wulfric went to go and talk to Arissa, Constantine's wife, the wife of the man he had to kill in Kinreen, as he had been turned by the blight, Wulfric shed a tear, as the old woman was very, very positive her husband was coming back. She still had fond memories of Wulfric, remembering very clearly and very fondly that day when you were playing with Sophia in the orchard. And, well, for her, despite everything being sad, nothing had changed, and I think that hit Wulfric the hardest out of everything he had experienced in Thornsgard so far. Though perhaps that was for the best, as if he knew what was going on in the background, he'd perhaps not only be sad, but also slightly murderous. As the 4 of you retired for the evening, after Markassar completed his task, and Wulfric helped Arissa to bed, the rest of you stayed in your rooms in the Wavering Longhouse, where we reconvene the morning after, where you guys have, I guess, a little bit of time in the Wavering Longhouse, obviously, to discuss what you guys want to do that day. I remember from last session you were thinking about going to talk to Silor, obviously, in the morning. I also remember Ranagash wanting to talk to Sam. And then obviously you guys can potter around and do what you want. So usually, obviously, waking up Eidolon, you'd be first down, Ranagash you'd follow, and then obviously Markassar and Wulfric would come down afterwards. Sam would be pottering around. He would be the only one downstairs at this point. So it's kind of up to you guys what order you want to do things in. If you want to head it off today, Matthew, and then we can jump to the 4 of you and then jump to what you want to do that day. If you know what you want to say.
Okay, important question first. Do we get food?
Correct.
It will be food. It won't be as good as the night before. Most of it will be leftovers, with eggs on top.
That sounds pretty good. Not to me. I mean, Markassar doesn't find that nice, but Paul does sound very nice.
That would be fucking wonderful on an early morning.
Yes.
Morning, everyone.
And give Wolfric a wave if he's on his way down.
Morning.
Time to whip up some breakfast.
Has breakfast already been whipped up, or is Wolfric the one who's made us this breakfast?
Wolfric will probably be dishing it out, cooking eggs alongside Sam, jumping into the kitchen.
I have crate food and water. We can make anything. The world's our oyster.
Make oysters.
Make oysters. Damn it.
No, fuck off. I'm not feeding you guys fucking oysters. I don't know how to prepare oysters.
A good oyster is actually pretty good, though.
Yeah, but a bad oyster is
Not worth it.
dangerous.
You definitely come from Orkney.
Why?
I don't know, that just seems like seafood is like the only thing you eat.
I actually dislike most seafood.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't eat a lot
I
of
hate
seafood.
big fish.
Did everybody sleep okay?
Eidolon doesn't really look your way, Marcusar.
Why?
Saw a pigeon when I woke up. That's gotta mean something.
Must be.
Where are we going first today, Wolfric?
I'm gonna check on the old git.
And then,
You want to try your luck again with Sophia?
She needs time. I'm not gonna push her into anything. I'm not gonna pressure her.
Well, it has been a day. I feel like things might have changed.
But I've been dead for months. She needs time to ruminate.
Maybe she doesn't have time.
What does that mean, Marcus R?
I mean, we'll be moving on from here relatively soon. Best to
Insight.
take your.
Insight. check.
Eidolon is cradling his head in his hand at this point in
Insight
absolute
check.
shame.
Insight check. Is this man fucking lying to me?
I just think we'll be moving on very soon. I feel like we should.
Can I
I mean,
make it?
I mean,
Ever make an insight check?
I mean, he makes a good point. You guys aren't going to stay in town for very long. You kind of talked to Sam yesterday about the possibility of going into Maya and trying to have a look for the missing people. So, kind of getting as much information as you can from Silor and then kind of heading off into Maya was kind of going to be you guys' plan. So, unless you're maybe coming back through Thornsgard on the way, but you don't know how far into the Gyldenfelde you're going to go, Marcusar does make a good point.
Straight facts. I'm just omitting details.
A lot of them.
I appreciate that the roll has a +0 on the end. I don't know why, I just like that.
It's very satisfying.
Need to hammer in for the folks at home that I don't have a positive or negative wisdom modifier. Alright, so we'll go speak to the old man. And then we'll check on Sophia. See how she's doing.
Cool. No doubt.
If she doesn't want to talk to you, we can just leave.
Yeah.
There's other ways we can help around the town.
Yes. There's always other ways to assist. Precisely.
Well,
Make a good point. Is everyone enjoying their eggs and also there's porridge there too?
my porridge is quite nice.
It's wonderful, thank you.
Good.
Well, I like to hear.
Eidolon does say a curse under his, well, less of a curse under his breath and more just mutters something under his breath in a language only Paul understands. In which just in Elvish under his breath, as in between a mouthful of food, he's just, what the fuck was he thinking?
Do I hear this?
Yeah.
Yes, you've got the passive
You have
perception
an
too.
18 passive perception and you speak Elvish.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
Let's go. Time to.
You can make out what I hear.
As you're kind of having breakfast, kind of sitting down, chatting about your plans for the day. Obviously, Sam, being nosy, kind of comes over. If you're planning on going to see Sophia, do you mind seeing if you can pick up some of, ideally some more of her herbs and some of her tomatoes? I know she's got some in the back, and I know she doesn't like me stealing them. So, like, I know she's not in the best mood with you at the moment, Wolfric, but, like, I do kind of need them.
I'll be sure to do that. She might not be in the best mood, but she's still a reasonable person. She's still cordial.
Yeah, but, like, I actually need the tomatoes. I don't need them as, like, paste on your face.
If push comes to shove, I can use magic to make tomatoes.
that is fair. It was pretty good, those ingredients you made last night, but, you know.
You've known how to cast magic for only about a week now, and yet it is the answer to all of your problems.
I just...
What else would you do with magic?
Yeah, like, well, I don't need to blow shit up. I've got an axe. If I can't solve a problem with an axe, I'll use my ability to conjure food. I can heal people, I can hit people with an axe, and I can conjure food. That's all
I'm sure when we come across a creature that can't be killed with an axe, it will appreciate a nicely cooked meal like anyone else will.
Wolfric has 2 mindsets, attack or snack.
He is the attack and he is the snack.
Wolfric is like, fuck this bullshit, I just want to grill.
Wolfric grills.
Grill master Rembrandt.
You fucking kiss the cook apron and his fucking dad shorts.
Kiss the fighter. No, kiss the paladin, sorry.
Yeah. It did say kiss the
Kiss
fighter,
the
but
fighter
it's like
and then-
scrolled out and it's kiss the paladin underneath.
I think we were going for the exact same
Yeah,
joke
we
there.
were great.
You're sharing the brain cell.
It's rare,
Right.
but it happens. Yep.
Right, let's go talk to Silor. Heading through the town.
Are you wanting to talk to Sam?
Yeah, can I catch Sam on the way out?
Yeah?
I just be like, oh, I meant to ask you something. Who's all went missing in the forest?
Where do I begin? Well, Quinny was one of the first. She lives down the road. Her cat's a nuisance. Nice enough lady though. Constantine left about the same time as Orsic. We've not seen them since. Lunara was one of the more difficult ones we've lost. She ran this place with her husband and her young daughter, and when she disappeared, well, Aramel didn't want his daughter going too, so they left. You know, I forget a lot of the names of the others.
Do you remember the family names?
Why are you asking?
Well, I happen to have a particular set of skills, and it helps to find people if I know exactly who I'm looking for.
Well, Lunara was the most recent one to disappear. Her full name is Lunara Aloro. I would have hoped to perhaps give you some other names, but considering what Wolfric told me yesterday, let's just say I don't have a lot of hope that maybe those who went away nearly 2 months ago now are still alive.
It's understandable, although I suppose closure's better than nothing.
Yes, but for some people here, not knowing is probably best for them.
I suppose. Thank you. And I'll run and catch up with the rest of them.
As you kind of head out or turn to kind of go away, he kind of takes a moment before kind of grabbing hold of your wrist. This kind of very small halfling. I don't have hope, but I want to be hopeful. If you can find people with names, Orsic, he's my partner. His full name is Orsic Aranor. Maybe if he is, for me, I think closure would be better.
I'll see what I can do.
As he kind of lets go and does kind of give you a weak smile, watching you leave the Wavering Longhouse, kind of more skipping up the plaza to rejoin the others as they're heading to Silor's, heading to the library, where I need these notes.
As long as Wolfric's in front of us, I'm just going to give a dead-eyed dagger stare at Marcusar for that. But that's all.
What's your problem, man?
What do you think? As you kind of come around the corner, kind of into the, I guess, more close-knit part of town where a lot of people obviously have their homes rather than their establishments, where Wulfric leads you not too far from the small chapel to a rather unkempt house, is probably the best way to describe it. There is no lights on in the windows, but you can see that the shutters, or the inner shutters, have been closed. The walls themselves are covered in climbing ivy that really needs trimmed to the point where it's starting to almost curve and cap on top of the roof. The path leading up to it, well, the main road, is still covered in snow, but the kind of lip of the roof, you can see all the weeds coming through the stones that haven't been touched by the snow yet. The door itself is probably one you'd find in, well, as a description, a wizard's tower. Very big iron brackets, a big iron knocker, a small window at the top of it through the arch that is covered with an iron grate. It looks like it's almost been imported, most likely from the Citadel, rather than being built and manufactured here, as it kind of gives a rather, I guess, country home a very urban feeling.
Wulfric this entire time has been carrying a small wrapped up bit of cloth in his offhand very gently. And he goes up and knocks on the door. Silor, it's me. Are you in?
You can kind of hear a small shuffle and then what most likely sounds like papers either fluttering or books falling over, as you can hear someone then pressing themselves against the door. Go away. I'm busy.
This is important.
I mean, I don't know how important it is. I'm currently trying to figure out where people have been going. That is surely more important than whatever you want.
Which is exactly the same thing.
You kind of get silence from behind the other side of the door. Who is me?
Wulfric. It's Wulfric Reinbrand. You know me.
You kind of hear several locks, very heavy duty locks, be pulled and clicked on the other side of the door. It seems like the last time you visited, he's become a little bit more paranoid, as the door opens perhaps only 2 or 3 inches. They said you were dead.
I've had this conversation several times. I'm not dead.
You just hear the thud as the door closes again. You can hear several locks be relocked, and you hear him shuffling around in his room, quite clearly looking for something. 2-3 minutes pass by, the 4 of you kind of left outside.
I will wait to say to Wulfric during that interim if we have time.
Yeah, you've got 2-3 minutes as he's looking for something.
I take it he won't want us coming in.
He's a bit cagey. You get used to him.
Should we leave him to you then?
You can. We'll see. We'll see. If you're with me, you should be fine. Just refrain from touching anything.
As you kind of have that conversation, you can hear the locks be unlocked again, and the door opens this time to a very tall, nearly 7 foot in terms of his height, very thin. He's obviously not been eating properly. He's lost a lot of his muscle mass. Hair kind of pulled back in a ponytail that's clearly not been cut in a long time. You can see some attempted braids as it kind of almost spirals down to the back of his thigh. Very, very dark hair that started to get some grey and silver through it. Very, very dark black eyes kind of staring at you. Where, Wulfric, you are suddenly soaked as he throws a bottle of something over you that seems to start almost glistening like diamonds along your skin, sticking to different pores and different follicles. And
the fuck is in this?
You guys watch as Wulfric suddenly turns red, but then the liquid goes clear and it just feels like water on your skin as he kind of sighs and looks at you. No, you're alive. You're alive.
What the fuck was that?
He kind of pokes his head out slightly from his archway, kind of ignoring, I guess, the 3 others. Come in, quick, before anything sees you.
Alright, I quickly shuffle in.
He doesn't really seem to care if the 3 of you follow Wulfric or not. At least not at this point. His attention's very much on Wulfric. As do the 3 of you go in as well.
I'll follow up.
I should follow as well.
As you kind of get into
Made
this
this really cramped all of a sudden.
get into this very small entryway, making it very cramped considering there's the four of you, him and mountains of books and bookcases and scrolls everywhere. As the moment the four of you pass the threshold, the door is slammed shut and the locks are re-engaged. Every padlock, every slide, everything, all the way up. Now you can see there's actually maybe 5 or 6 of them, very heavy duty, as he kind of just sighs. Okay, you are alive. Explanation. I have been working, I have been researching, I have trying to find an answer for all of this.
Wolfric holds out the bundle. I figured before we could talk sense, you'd need this.
He kind of takes it, cautiously sniffs it.
It smells good.
You're cooking?
Yes. It's a raspberry and white chocolate muffin. Your favourite.
Acceptable. Come.
This is a peace offering.
It's this. Not only is he neurotic as fuck, but he also probably hasn't eaten a sustained thing in a while. So this was the perfect. You know, Wolfric basically knows that he has to bribe Sylor every time he shows up, whether it's a book, a fancy book he found in a corner shop, or like a nice baked good.
This is his favorite.
As he
He's like
kind
a
of
cat.
essentially, yes, he is a human cat. As he kind of leads, I guess, the four of you through into what would have probably once been his kitchen, dining / living space, quite a big room, but you can see that the window that would have once kind of been back of the kitchen has been shattered and boarded up, as all the fixtures of his kitchen have been ripped out and tossed out the back, most likely. There is no dining table, all the chairs have been completely dismantled to make way for more books. The only thing he's kept is the counters, which now have a lot of alchemical ingredients on them. And it seems like not only has his bed been brought into here, but also his study, as more mountains of books seem to surround a rather beaten mattress and a rather shaggy blanket. It looks like he's not really left this room, let alone this house, in a very long time.
Men be living in apartments like this and really see no problem with it.
Where's the singular chair with the TV on the floor?
This man said minimalism, never heard of her. Maximalism.
Maximalism.
As he kind of goes over to the more alchemical bench, to the table that has a lot of papers and scrolls on it, sets the muffin down and kind of, rather than taking bites out of the muffin, you watch as he kind of dissects it, taking small chunks off of it and eating it as he's kind of, I guess, more talking. Wolfric, the town is empty at this point.
I know.
People have been going missing. They've been taken, specifically. I can't work out by what. I just know that it's not alive.
We think we might know. Also, I know that whatever taking them is not alive. To cut a long story short, I can see dead things. Or I can tell if something's not quite alive.
You never had magical abilities before.
I have magical abilities now.
Just make sure to keep your exclamation tempered, Wolfric.
Anyway, the concoction of my own creation that I threw over you when you came in has the ability to detect a strange state between life and death in a creature.
Undeath.
No. Undeath is, how to explain this? You're still new to magic. Undeath is when a dead person comes back from the grave. Like a zombie or a skeleton.
Yes.
There is nothing interfering, there is, it is a spirit or a ghost in the host to then bring them back.
Yes.
This is a strange state between the two, where there is a living organism controlling a dead host. There is no...
Like a parasite.
Almost. Like those weird mushrooms Sophia grows. The ones that nearly killed her plants 3 years ago. She thought they were
not to buy from the weird merchant that passes through here.
It was interesting plants. She gave them to me. Turns out they're quite useful for things. But it's like that, where they assume the culture of whatever touches them and brings it back to a state between death and not, but not undeath, but enough that it still is useful.
Like, the person would come back, but they'd be, like, withered.
Yes. They're a shell, a hollow shell. I looked through my notes. I first thought perhaps revenants. There is a ghost that can take the form of anything or anyone, possessing dead creatures in order to enact its vengeance, but even that has sentience, it has purpose. What I saw doesn't. It doesn't. So I did the only thing I could. I started reading. I read everything. And I read the histories of the world with fresh eyes. Beyond my time, predating me nearly 200 years, there was this place. It doesn't exist anymore on any map, modern map, anything. And then I found that book you got me 10 years ago. Remember? The history book that you stole from Lambert.
I didn't steal it, he just didn't want it.
Same thing.
Lambert's barely literate.
I don't know how he came across such a thing, but he did. And you gave it to me, and I read it. And it has the old maps in it, before the Citadel was built. Only Maiar, Halden, the Standing Stones, Drakenel, Thansari, they were the only things on this map, but the city was there. They called it Ilvania, and the book spoke of the city in a way that I have never seen anything else be described. They had magic beyond our years. Apparently, at the core of their city, at its heart, they had a dragon tree where young dragons would be born. People lived in tandem with magic we could only dream of. And then it disappeared. The histories, both ours and then, talk about a plague, talk about almost a parasite. I didn't know what it was called, and then I found it in the book. This blighted scourge. They say that it destroyed everything. It killed everyone, but didn't kill them exactly. It would kill them and then reanimate them, but not reanimate them with a spirit, not reanimate them with a soul, but reanimate them as a host for the parasite, to let it spread, to kill the city. And it did. It did. And then it was vanquished. The people rallied, got to the capital, the palace that's now known as the Wall, and they stopped it. And it was gone. And that's where our history stopped. Even the book stops there. And then people started going missing. And I started exploring. I went for my walks in the woods. I assisted the Iron Dragons in their investigations. I took them to the last known sighting of several of the townsfolk, and I saw it. The 200 years, nearly 3 centuries in fact, that we think this thing has been gone, I think it's never left.
So, I'm going to interrupt here real quick. I'm closer to the back of the room, where I imagine Wulfric's a bit closer to the front.
Yes.
It's probably not going to be a great noise for Ranagash, but in a rather swift instance, there's the noise of a blade being drawn from a sheath, and then impaling into the wall next to him, preferably just next to his throat, alongside his head, so that the blade is sort of reflecting slightly, Eidolon chucks the blade, driving into the wood.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck? What the fuck was that for, Eidolon?
It is worth stepping out from sort of the back wall forward, tempering such an act of imagination before someone does it for you.
He kind of sidesteps ever so slightly away from
I'm going
the
to
blade.
step into the way, more on the right-hand side, honing in to make sure he's stuck next to the blade.
Well, Eidolon, don't threaten him. This isn't necessary.
It is.
You have an interesting friend, Wolfric.
Care to introduce yourself, Eidolon?
If he's been doing reading, the origin should sound familiar.
I mean, yes, but that doesn't explain who you are with the pointy sword and the threatening atmosphere.
Do you want me to say, or should I?
I'm a watchman. You should have read about them.
I did. It was the Watchman that got rid of the Blighted Scourge in the first place. But...
There isn't a but. 200 years ago, the Watchmen were established, and since then, we have stood there making sure nothing of its sort comes back again. Are you calling me a liar?
Can I say but?
You want me to tell you that the last person who did that lost their tongue and was close to choking on the blood it produced?
Eidolon, he gets the point. You don't need. This isn't. I'm sorry, Sylar. He gets like this.
I'm not saying that he's lying. I'm just saying that I don't think that you maybe did the best job.
Sylar.
Eidolon's just making continued eye contact.
I know he's fucked up, but just don't hurt him. Please.
Does the man do or say anything extra?
Give me 2 seconds, I need a dice. Where's my d20?
Sylar's he's not a little man. He's a man. It's his birthday.
I don't know if I should give an intimidation check here or not. I don't know if that would be palpable.
Give me one and I'll see if it affects the roll that I gave him.
I'll not visage. We'll just do the roll as it is. It's only a 7. Unless I should. Should I go for an advantage?
I
Go
mean,
cheeky.
your visage is kind of scary.
But no. No, we'll roll with that. And if he speaks, then we can have fun from there.
As he kind of, I guess, backs away, kind of ducks under your sword. Again, it's just... I don't want to say...
Then don't.
It's hard to find the lexicon to avoid using the word, though.
Then don't speak. Stay silent. Wolfric can have his happy reunion, check that you're doing fine. I can send away a neat little letter before we leave this village, and everything will be fine.
But it's not, though. People are dying.
And that's none of your concern. That's why we're here.
Well,
To deal with books can't.
clearly it should be our concern. If it wasn't our concern, where are the rest of the Watchmen to stop it?
Meaning?
It's in Mire. The fact you don't want me to talk about it just proves that it's in Mire. So it means I'm right. But it also means that you failed. And everything we know is wrong.
Ewan, are you very attached to this man?
That's
I'm
a concerning
attached
question.
to a lot of my NPCs, yes.
Well, I'll definitely give Wolfric the time to react to this, because it's only fair. And Eidolon doesn't exactly want to do this, but, you know, hey-ho. Stepping forward, if he's ducked under the blade, it's taking the blade with his hand, ripping it out, spinning it round, and more walking towards the man.
He will.
Wolfert puts his hand on Eidolon's shoulder. Right. Let's wind this down. He doesn't mean anything by it. Silord just doesn't really think before he speaks.
Wolfric, that's all I do.
I'm trying to help you here.
More cast a side glance at Wolfric, looking at the hand on my shoulder, then looking back at him, expecting something.
I feel like there are gaps in his knowledge that need to be explained. Eidolon, maybe if we explained to him why it's here, he wouldn't be so hem about it.
Wolfric, can I speak to you outside for just a moment?
Yes.
I point the sword at the man for a second, before taking it, putting it back in the sheath. And Marksar and Ranagash are welcome to follow me outside.
I think we will. I certainly will. I'm very concerned about what's happening right now.
Yeah. This is spicy.
But like a very just like do the like not smile to the silent, just like sorry about this. Just is how it is.
More getting outside.
His door's still locked.
We just get to the bottom. We just get to the bottom. And we lower our tone, and he won't hear us.
You get to the other side of the house.
We go into a little huddle.
As I'd more just
All our heads
look at
touch
Wolfric,
each other like.
sigh for a second. Wolfric, the entire point is that nobody here is supposed to know anything about this. The fact that you three know anything is because it started personally affecting you, and you're hunting it whether you want to or not at this point.
It's personally affecting him. His neighbors have gone missing.
That's what we're here to stop.
He is perhaps the most knowledgeable man I've ever met. It's not really surprising to me that he's kind of figured it out on his own.
Listen, we've had 200 years of nobody here working, quotation marks, it out.
Silor doesn't go anywhere. He's not gonna tell anyone. He only talks to me.
That is my saving grace. He is a coot in a back-end village. People are not going to listen to him.
So
listen.
what's the... Yes.
Don't misunderstand for a second that I want to kill an old man just because he reads a book. But because he has read one too many books,
You can't kill him. It's cruel. And like you said, nobody's gonna believe him.
listen, I have to report this either way, and I can't guarantee that what happens after that isn't going to lead to that anyway.
Do your men kill the whole village, or would they just take him?
Inreen was different. It was attacked. They'd just take him.
I don't like that. Thornsgard is also my home as much as Holtzal is. Thornsgard is also my home. I care about Utsilor. I do not appreciate him being treated like a nuisance to be disposed of. I understand that he's come across very sensitive information, but he is one of the few people that I can say without a shadow of a doubt would not tell anyone, especially if we told him not to tell anyone.
Then explain to me with that definition why he does not resemble an isolated nuisance. Listen, this comes with a secondary prerogative isn't the right word. If Gairdra finds him, he can use that information against the other people. Not the other people of this town, the people in the world.
I have a condition.
Condition?
If you send your men to come for Silor, they do not kill him. They simply keep him safe until Gairdra is dealt with.
Wolfric, I appreciate that, and listen, we've been traveling together for 4 months. I don't want to kill an innocent person.
then don't.
I'm sorry to correct this for you, but they are not my men.
He doesn't need to be. He could be an asset to the people on the wall. He doesn't need to be killed.
I'm assuming he likes his home here.
He does like it here, but
If he became an asset on the wall, he'd never be allowed off.
well, he mostly likes his collection, so if we could bring that one. He's got
Just a
a
few
lot.
books packet.
He's got a lot of books that would need to be brought if he was to permanently stay on the wall. But it's a more favourable fate than him being put down like a lame animal.
Listen, again, if it was my men, if I had authority over a command, I could make that specification. They're not, and I know who would be sending the men.
Who would that be?
It's not a name you'll recognize. It was, I guess you could say, Gairdr's replacement.
Let me guess, being unscrupulous is a job requirement?
You know, when you put it like that, it almost sounds like they're unqualified. Her name's Nilrir. She's a half-orc, but nothing like the ones we've met. She lives and breathes the wall, you could say. She's everything Gairdra was without turning on us and murdering us all.
Yeah, without the poisonous villainy, ambition.
She has the ambition, just doesn't drive to murder of us.
No, but Did they have therapists on the wall?
Oh god, that's the awkward thing. Eidolon awkwardly raises his own hand.
You're the therapist on the wall?
I'm the closest they had.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
We're gonna address how that's fucked up a different time.
Listen, you have to remember, completely unrelated to this, before I was bludgeoned by my best friend and my wife was killed, I wasn't like this.
You know, about 20 minutes ago, I would have been inclined to believe you.
I wasn't like...
You just threatened to kill an old man, so I'm not
I wasn't
inclined
like...
to believe.
I wasn't like this, more just gesturing to his own visage. I've been taught all my life to be like this, as he more puts a hand on the blade on his back.
You mean you shaved?
Ulfric.
Right, that was a joke. I'm not that stupid. Joke.
You know, oftentimes those two things go hand in hand. Anyway.
Listen, you can't fucking kill him, right? Please. I am begging you, do not fucking kill him. My week's already been shit enough. My girlfriend doesn't want to talk to me. My home away from home's a fucking ghost town, and you just threatened to kill one of my friends. I'm not very happy about that. I'm watching the closest thing I have to a second grandmother slowly succumb to her own mind collapsing in on itself. You think I'm in a good fucking mood?
Can you give me a persuasion, Ewan? I have a small little DC in my head. Because Wolfric's week really has been just that shite.
28, that's a natural 20.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, I should hope so.
Yeah, that'll do it. DC, in case you were curious, Ewan, was 16. Which you have gone above and beyond. Eidolon will just look at you, take the blade, look back at the man, take the hand off. Fine.
I owe you.
I'll be sending off a letter, but she's gonna hate me for it. But I'll see what I can do. He might end up having to go to the wall, but I can guarantee you, on my head, he won't be killed.
Wolfric hugs Eidolon.
Eidolon goes rigid. He has not experienced a hug in a year and 4 months.
You have no idea how much this means to me. The one little thing in my week that I needed. Thank you very much.
You get a very awkward, he lifts up his hand and pats you twice in the back.
I imagine it's very awkward because Wolfric is a lot burlier than Eidolon is.
Like, I'm only a few inches taller than you, but I'm a lot leaner than you.
Yeah,
Consumed.
just consumed by the fucking traps and Delta. By the fucking traps.
Marksar witnesses the hug. He just puts an arm around Ranagash.
Is it off?
I imagine Radagash just went.
'Cause I'd more turn to Wolfric after that, just like, he can't say any more though.
Alright,
That's all.
okay. The condition is we just get him the shop.
Yeah.
Which is very easy, because if I just say something completely unrelated that's really distracting, he will forget about it.
Can you keep him distracted for a week, for about 2 days? With a single phrase.
You would be surprised how easy that is.
Do it.
Ranagash, do you mind if I tell him that you can see visions? Because that will keep him on a tangent for the next 3 months.
You know what? I'm interested to see what he can find out. So sure.
All right. He marches back up with Ranagash next to him. I imagine the rest of them follow up. Sylar, we've had a very important discussion, and something more important has come up that we need you to research, and we believe that you, in all of your infinite wisdom, can find out more that needs to be known about this particular topic.
What's more important than the people?
He points at Ranagash. This guy has prophetic visions.
You kind of see him stop for a moment, hands still in the air.
It worked!
What kind of prophetic visions?
Ranagash, it depends from day to day. It could be what we're going to have for lunch tomorrow. It could be an apocalyptic event. It could be my own wedding. And they're finite. They're not solid. They ebb and flow. They change. Those are completely three random events. He can also see into the very past. He can experience things from other people. I have no idea. He can probably explain more of the extent of things that he has experienced in his visions. Those are just the things he's told us, or that he thinks that we could understand. Like I said, like we've established, I'm not very magical. I'm new to magic. However, you are very intelligent, and I believe that you would be able to figure out stuff about this. So surely you have books about prophetic visions, and you could do research on this, possibly. And that would be greatly appreciated, because Ranagash understands it, but the rest of us do not. Even Ranagash to a degree is lost. So we would greatly appreciate it.
Would you like to take a breath?
The manic energy.
Doesn't want this man to die, so he's really going through with it.
Wolfric's going ham so that he doesn't have to get this guy fucking executed.
I don't even feel that's a persuasion check at that point. I think Ewan just did it.
Is I guess Sylor starts kind of taking several bits of parchment as well as several pieces of cord that have been notched by what looks like almost black dye, is essentially then starts experiencing as if he's almost tailoring you for a suit, Ranagash.
Right.
Is like almost like this guy has several switches in his head and Wolfric's just flicked it so that something else is taking his fancy.
I'm gonna turn to Wolfric just before this starts and be like, can we just leave Ranagash here for like an hour?
Yeah, we just leave Ranagash here for a bit and we'll be fine. You'll be alright here, right, Ranagash? He's not gonna hurt you, he's just a bit like that.
Please come back for me. I have other things
Okay,
I want
buddy,
to do
thanks.
today.
And Wolfric's already
I'm leaving with it.
You might need him to unlock the door, though.
Yeah, Wolfric knows how to operate the locks.
Right.
Marcus, are you staying or
Why
going?
were we sitting inside the whole time if you can operate the lock? Why did we go outside?
Because it's less awkward. It's I mean, it's fine.
He's distracted right now when Wolfric's doing the whole minute to do all the locks. Are you coming, Marcus, or are you staying with Ranagash?
I'll come, I suppose.
Ranagash is being left with the strange man.
Don't get in his van!
He doesn't have a van. He's already in the strangest place he could be. He's in the man's house.
He tries getting you into a carriage, then don't get in it.
I wanted to make a character who was very intelligent but easily distractible, and this is the best. I love this NPC so much because
I would
just,
love to.
weird.
I would love to see this as a character, but played. Where they're incredibly intelligent, but every small thing is just them for like the next few sessions until something else comes up.
Welcome to the medieval equivalent of undiagnosed ADHD.
Or diagnosed. He might have read into it enough to find ADHD.
This man has probably discovered so much shit. It's just nobody talks to him, and he's too fucking scatterbrained.
Listen,
This
you
man has discovered time travel. But
because you wrote this man to not talk to anyone. I let him live is the best way to put it.
I made him, and yeah, essentially, when I pitched him to Em, I was like, he's aloof and standoffish. He doesn't like people besides Wulfric.
Yeah.
And that's literally because he uses Wulfric as essentially like a UPS shipping guy for like sending books and receiving books.
Wulfric is
You have
essentially
my
his
book
pack
and my
horse.
pizza.
Wulfric is useful to him, and that's why he talks to Wulfric.
It's kind of mean.
And also, that's initially how it started, and now he talks to Wulfric because no one else will.
Yeah. It got to the stage that he liked having Wulfric around, because Wulfric listened to everything he said, but at the same time, despite liking people around to listen to him, he still doesn't like people, so Wulfric was convenient because Wulfric was useful, and he liked talking to Wulfric.
Yeah, leaving the building though with Wulfric, Wulfric and Marcus are, because Eidolon cannot keep this subtle. He just says under his breath, "Well, I'm dead," as he pulls out a piece of parchment and just looks at it for a few seconds.
Right. We should go check on Sophia.
Yeah,
that would
that's
be-
close by anyway.
That'd be a good idea.
As I guess in the interim, before we get to Sophia, because I feel like that's going to be interesting. I don't know, I've just got a hunch. Call it a GM's intuition.
We'll find her, and then they'll have another scuff, and then that's it. That's the interesting part.
As Ranagash.
You're now stuck in a room with a crazy man. You're welcome.
You did it. You absolute mad genius. You did it.
I have done it. I fucking Uno reverse carded. Now Matthew's dealing with shit.
You stopped me dealing with shit, you dealing with shit, and even Marcus are dealing with shit. And now it's Matthew's problem.
It's Matthew's problem. You have to deal with the most scattered-brained man in the world. A man with 20 intelligence but 5 wisdom.
Is that just you, Ewan?
Hey,
Hey, you can
I'm
relate,
very-
Matthew!
what?
You can relate!
Not only is that me, that's also pretty accurate to Ranagan.
Maybe you'll get along.
Fucking birds of a feather. He's not an actual wizard, though. Sylar's not a wizard, despite his vast books and Mage Tower-style door.
He's just a
Get
commoner
the
with
vibe.
high intelligence.
He has the vibes.
He just
The
understands.
vibes!
The vibes.
The
Yeah,
vibes!
as Fran, you are left with Sylor, as he seems to be measuring you for something, taking down different measurements, different, I guess, attributes on your physique and appearance. He seems to be muttering to himself. It seems to be when he goes into, I guess, ramblings that he doesn't want anyone to hear, or ramblings that he's less comfortable with people listening to. He speaks in Elvish, or at least that's kind of what you can assume, because it's not Orcish and he's an elf. Elf seems logical.
Yeah.
But he seems to be kind of, I guess, darting around, pulling different books from different locations. He even nips to the other room to go and get some different manuscripts, where the first time that he actually speaks in common to you, he kind of turns looking up from several books, where he kind of reaches across several other books and pulls a pair of spectacles and sits them and clasps them on his nose as he's like, "So, your visions, prophetic. Is it divination, and when did you learn?"
I believe it is divination. Learn is not the word.
But most, like, no one just is prophetic. It's taught. It kind of flicks through several pages. Every prophetic conjurer in history has been taught by most likely transcripts coming from. He kind of gets a little bit nervous. Ilvania and Aramba. They've all been taught from one scholar's notes, so you will have had to learn at some point. Yes?
There's scholars who study this?
That's how it's taught. That divination is a school of magic. There are many schools of magic. Divination is the hardest one to master because there is only one person in recorded history who is instinctively prophetic. And everyone has had to learn his techniques since then. And most people who do it, he kind of takes a bit of paper and scrunches it up and then throws it over his shoulder. Die.
Right. Well, as you can see, I'm not dead.
Well, I can see you're not dead. It would be problematic if you were dead, because then it'd be really hard to, live.
Genius. Man.
People die when they are killed.
People die when they are killed.
You're
But
not wrong there.
at the same time, you still had to learn it. You don't just have it.
I do.
You do.
I do. There's a difference between divination magic and like fumble the runestones for thing and what goes on in here.
Well, that's runic casting. It's a orcish tradition. So it just happens.
Yep. I mean, I can sometimes like provoke it, but that doesn't mean I control it.
I mean, most people who have divination magic can't control it. It's kind of the catch of controlling time and reality. That's why most people die. So you don't have spells for it?
I do, but the spells are not, again, in here.
How?
It's hereditary?
What do you mean it's hereditary?
As in I inherited it? The gift?
No,
What's the word you want to use?
I know what hereditary means, but were you not listening when I said there's only been one recorded scholar in history that has been innately prophetic?
Yes.
How can you be hereditary when there's only one?
Who is this scholar?
We don't know his name. The scripture has been retranslated and rewritten and translated 100 times over. There is a possibility that his name once meant something and it's been translated into a different word, but we don't know who it was. All we know is they were Rambian.
I really wish I could, like, you know that way you very subtly like elbow nudge people to get their attention? I wish I could do that to the book right now. But I cannot do that to the book, so I'm gonna have to open my mouth and use words.
Just give them a little shuggle. Give them a little shake.
Just reach into the back and just...
Wake up!
Bookman, wake up.
Would that work is probably the question to ask.
What if you shuggled him?
Yeah, if I like sugared them a bit to make sure.
Probably.
And then I will, like, however possible, just be like, you can hear this, yes?
What? What do you want? What do you need me for?
Where are you from?
What? Where am I from?
Yeah.
That's a strange question to wake me up for. Usually it's find out who this is, find out who that is.
No, that's later. Believe me, we'll get there.
Nice. That's exactly what I need with my day. Barrow's library is... it's very tempting when I travel with you.
You asked for this.
Yes, but I didn't think you'd use me this much.
I barely use you.
Exactly.
This book has been living like a fucking pampered house cat for like years, and is now upset it has to do work.
Feed me.
Myself, my brother, and my sister are all from Aramba.
That's okay. Does the phrase "only scholar ever innately born with prophetic abilities" mean or sound familiar to you?
I mean, I wasn't a scholar. That was Barrow.
Well, that might be him then, isn't it? He's
Yeah.
right.
Barrow can't tell when his coffee's too hot. He ain't prophetic. And if he was, he'd see that putting me in a book was a really bad idea. But he didn't know that either.
What his sister said.
Spoilers, Craig.
No, you heard that when you were first talking with him.
Yeah.
I just listened. I didn't write
Well,
this guy.
Interesting. So, you might be who's talking about. I take it Silver is just like watching me like bug-eyed, like what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
Because he can't hear shit.
though he is also taking notes.
Yeah, of course he would be. I would look at what he's writing, but I probably can't read it.
No, it's in Elvish.
Yeah. Like as if I would know. I'm just like, what the common looks weirder than I remember. Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to give him a name. Do I want to give him more forbidden knowledge? Is that a good idea?
Don't distract him.
It is. Okay, so again, this will be addressing him now rather than the book. I may have information for you that could be helpful in this endeavor. That's a word.
He kind of looks at you. Were you having a vision there?
No, that was a conversation.
You weren't speaking.
No, not physically.
I don't have them often. I don't like having them unless they're interesting or productive. You can't have a conversation with one person. Trust me, I've tried. You usually just end up in arguments.
I'm aware of how conversation works, believe me. No, I was talking with, and I'll reach for the book.
What is that?
Book.
Well, I know it's a book. I know what books look like. I also know what scrolls and scripture looks like. Books don't talk.
This one does.
Why?
Because he was a person once.
That kind of transmutation is very powerful. To keep him alive as well in that state. As he kind of almost wanders off, you can hear him trail into Elvish again as he starts pulling more books from the shelf. So, you're saying the book is a person and the book talks to you?
When he wants to, yes.
And the book is important to the research because...
Because the reason they put him in a book was because he was prophetic, so badly so that it nearly killed them. Which seems to line up with what you're saying.
Well, yes, no one knew what happened to the scholar, and... Well, most reports, like most things from Ilvania and Aramba, kind of just... They just vanished. They don't exist anymore. Well, most of them don't exist anymore, but you don't get access to those. So how did you get a hold of it?
Found him in a library, and he can communicate with fellow prophets, I suppose is the word. Bargains to be taken out of the library. And here he is.
And he speaks to you?
Yes.
Interesting. A prophetic half-orc and a talking book. I'm assuming it wasn't your orcish parent who was prophetic?
No.
I suppose you wouldn't leave the book with me.
He wouldn't be much use to you.
It's a book.
No. Like, open it to show that the pages are blank.
It's an empty book.
Indeed.
That is more problematic. I need to do more reading. You may go.
Alright, I'll take it and turn and like walk towards the door, stop myself and turn. Can you undo the locks?
Should still be open. He never went down and locked after Wolfric opened it.
Wolfric is smart enough to be able to unlock my door. I doubt he can lock it from the outside.
All right. And then I'll continue leaving.
As you just hear him call after you. Also tell him to stop unlocking my door.
All right. Now, look for their troubles, because
Well.
that's where they will be.
Yeah, and given the time you were talking to Silor, it has time for trouble to occur.
We're just reciting the script of Expiration Date, the TF2 skit.
Yeah.
Because it was the way Ranagash said this is a book. I just go to this is a
It's a
bucket.
Dear God,
God.
there's more.
More.
No. And the best one is no. We should be fine as long as no one teleports any bread.
Ashton,
Yes, soldier.
For 3
I
days.
teleported bread.
What?
You told me to.
How much?
I've done nothing but teleport bread for 3 days. Such a fucking good skit.
I fucking love. Yeah.
The old TF2 animations were so fucking funny. Seduce me.
Oh yeah, I need
Any one of
the
us.
bathroom so we can
We are.
do a break.
We can cut to break because I also need the bathroom and possibly need some more juice, and it means that we have all the time in the world at Sophia's flower shop.
Fun. Yeah, I need the bathroom, and I also need to microwave my rice pudding.
Rice pudding. I don't have rice pudding.
Ooh.
Sadness.
Gonna go get a snack. You can help it.
I really wish you would help it. Paul, Paul. I've
Yes.
changed the break screen. Put May away.
I can't put her away, she's too pretty.
She's not real.
Don't say that. She's
Say
real
it
to
more.
me.
Say it more often.
Oh my god, I just opened the BBC website and the first articles are essential updates on the pandemic from today. Met Office issues first UK extreme heat warning. Zelda remaster can't fix this fundamentally flawed game.
The game is life.
Right. Is May away, Paul?
May is away.
Good.
For now.
Not for now.
She's getting saved for later.
Don't like that.
She'll come back with a vengeance.
As hopping back to D&D, leaving Ranagash now outside of Silors, we'll see who joins him. As moving to the interim to what Eidolon, Wulfric and Marcusar were doing whilst Ranagash was talking to the crazy old man. As you guys head to Sophia's flower shop, kind of going to check on her and going to talk to her. She did say that perhaps you could come by tomorrow or later on if you're staying in town, and Marcusar did seem to make a good point. You guys wouldn't be staying in town for much longer, so it made sense to go and at least see her, maybe try and resolve some things, and also pick up some tomatoes for Sam. As hearing your conversation, he asked if you'd do him that favour, as Sophia usually refuses him. But when you get to the flower shop, the small shop that you will have visited the day prior, with its blooms outside, its flowers and plants surprisingly alive for the time of year. Everything still producing fruit, producing veg, producing blooms, an array of colours climbing up her wall. Everything is wilted. There is no greenery. The snow has finally settled and the wood is almost started to gather mildew from the amount of moisture that has been left in the soil. Every single bloom has its colour stripped from it and is dry and crisp, to the point that a slight breeze is turning several of them to dust. No fruit is being produced on any of the bushes, nor is any vegetables in the plots. The vines and trellis that were adorning her walls have all but turned to creeping thorns, and there is no lights on.
I'm guessing we don't have 8 hours to spare for me to cast plant growth.
Nope.
Damn.
What the fuck is going on? I'm gonna check the lock on the door.
The door is still locked.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
Um,
Sophia, are you in there?
you get no response.
Gonna look around the side of the building to see if an open window is potentially there.
Can
Not-
I attempt to try and smell the scent?
With your passive perception, Craig,
Hello.
you cannot see an open window from this side, though the entrance to the flower shop is in an alleyway, so it might be an open window around the back. You're not too sure.
I'll leave Wulfric there and with fast check.
On initial scenting, Paul, you can't smell your scent at the front of the building.
With Eidolon round the back.
As Wulfric, as you're kind of standing at the door, obviously calling out for her, getting no response. Eidolon, Marcus, are you heading around the back?
Wulfric would see Eidolon if he looks back, obviously, looking up at the windows before heading around the back.
This can't be good. I'll follow them round the other side.
You kind of take the streets and then obviously break into the fields, into the kind of back of the orchard, where the back of Sophia's shop looks onto, where obviously the kind of upper floors are used for her living space, or for her and her family. You can see an open window.
I'd more probably getting around there first, even if Wulfric is following, call essentially. Wulfric?
Aye.
Probably he gets around about that point. I just point up to the wall, to the open window.
This can't be good.
It might just be best breaking in.
I can bust the door open.
Give me a strength as you guys head around and attempt to get into the shop.
Do you want some assistance, Yun?
Yes, please.
Cool, have advantage.
Advantage.
I'm not the weakest boy in the party.
No,
Alright,
you're average.
strength check. So just +4 then. Let's go.
Door
Well-
doesn't budge.
Oh, that's not good.
Do you want me to get in and unlock it from the inside?
Yes.
Cool. Where there's an open window, you'd essentially see Eidolon back up a little bit, and then with his movement, literally just run up the wall and hoist himself into the window.
I forget.
There is no
you-
check. There is no check. It is part of my movement. I can go up vertical surfaces now.
Monk.
I forget that he can do that. He can just sprint up walls.
I only just got the ability.
Yeah, he is monk. As the kind of room that you head into is a double bedroom or a master bedroom.
Can I make a request?
Yes.
I would like the description to be for when Ewan gets in, because of course this is impactful for him, and
Well,
Eidolon already knows what's roughly happened
That
here.
was good, but this doesn't look like Sophia's room.
Okay.
As you'd be going in an open window on the front of the building, which is why it's a
I'm more
double
just-
master room.
I more just wanted to make the warning.
Yeah, I am aware of these things, Craig. Stop backseat GMing.
I'm not trying
Jeez.
to. I'm trying to.
As you kind of get into this double room, this master room, that's kind of situated on the front looking out onto the alley, where you head down into the shop. The shop is in a very similar state to the front. A lot of wilted plants. However, there is also a very angry cat who doesn't really like the fact that you're in his shop.
I won't pay any mind.
It's not really doing anything towards you, it's more he is hissing quite violently at you. Arched back and puffy tail.
I'm not paying it any mind. The past perception can easily pick up that this is a cat.
As you go to obviously unlock the door, which is pretty easy from this side, giving access for Marksar and Wolfric. The moment the door is opened, the cat runs out.
Phil, where are you going? I try and grab the cat.
Give me a dexterity saving throw. See if you can grab the
Let's-
cat.
So R
Charisma.
slash 1d20 +4. 6.
You cannot grab the cat. As you kind of stumble, try to get a hold of him, and he jumps through your arms and darts down the street.
I would like to cast Speak with Animals.
What do you say to the cat as it runs away?
Bill! What happened to Sophia?
You just hear it shout back, bad things, don't like bad things gone, going home, going home, going home, going home, going home, and then it just trails off.
God, that was a waste of a spell.
It's a frightened cat!
Where did the bad things go? What were the bad things? What are the bad things that happened?
Full circle.
No, not working.
And his face will just drop and he's like, what the fuck happened here? And he's gonna like rush upstairs to look for Sophia's room.
So it seems
Sophia!
you get no response as you kind of run through the house. You see that every single plant in the house, even the ones that adorn her own home, not just her shop, is dead. Wilted stems, wilted flowers. The only things that seem to be left behind are what looks like dying brambles, where they're not bearing any fruit, but it's enough for the black thorns to persist. Getting to Sophia's room, the room itself is empty. She is not there. It has been completely undisturbed, though the window itself, as you saw from the back of her house, is open. Nothing else seems to have changed in this room. Nothing else seems to have been moved in this room. Though I guess through mere observation as you're looking around for stuff, and just because you're the one that sent it, you can see that on the dresser, not too far from the mirror for her vanity, you can see in a flower pot the flowers that you sent her from Westcross. But she is not there. It looks like she's not actually been here for a while.
Where the fuck is she? Eidolon, have you seen Sophia in here?
Eidolon would turn around, follow Wolfric, obviously. And I guess I'll see if I can find any tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to attempt to pick up the scent again.
Give me an active perception check this time, Marcusar. And an active perception or investigation from yourself. Craig?
I'm mainly looking at the ground, but I'm also casting my eye out the window, so I'll go with perception. It's a 30.
God damn it.
Just had to one-up you, Paul. Well,
You did
6 up me.
6 up me, yeah.
Marcusar, you are able to smell your scent, at least faintly. It is primarily coming from a dress and apron that is hung over a chair. You're not too sure if it would persist outside, as you couldn't smell anything out there. But it is definitely at least strong in this room. Eidolon with your 30, as you're looking around. There isn't really anything outside. Like, there is no disturbance anywhere, at least in this area.
Seems pretty uniform with what happened in West Cross, though, so...
What you do notice, though, is in the ceiling, so kind of in the plaster of the wooden beams, you can see holes. Perhaps at a glance, if you weren't paying attention, they'd be look like termite holes. These are a lot bigger and they're more cone-shaped. Something was clinging to the ceiling. And on the floor, not too far from her bed, you can see a small pool of black ichor that seems to have lost its acidity after eating away through half the floorboard. But it is like a small pool. It is barely like an inch in diameter.
I'd mainly, with Wolfric's request, point up on the roof. Make that obvious to him.
Holes in the roof. Something's taken her.
And with an open window, it seems pretty similar, I suppose, to what happened in West Cross.
Fuck. One of Gaird's fucking monsters is taking her. No, I don't know.
Well, you'll just have to remember, Wolfric, if it is the same as what happened in West Cross and gestures to the roof and the open window, it means that there'll be a mark on the side of the building if that's the case.
Yeah. Where would that be?
Do you want to keep looking around in here, or should we go look first?
We'll go have a look outside.
Let's give me an investigation, boys, as you're looking for the mark.
You want advantage, Ewan, or?
I'd like advantage, so...
Because, yeah, I'll let you make the roll.
Much for 320k. 1. It's /R.
That's my favourite subreddit. 2d20kh plus 1.
Ewan!
No.
You cannot find anything, Wolfric.
Is he able to help me looking around?
No, because you were helping him look around.
Marksar would see them both and struggling to find this thing and give us sort of maybe over here and find the mark because I put it there.
Yeah, you don't need an investigation. As Marcusar assists in helping you guys find the mark and kind of calls out to the two of you, looking aimlessly in the other direction. As you
Over
see,
here, guys.
kind of behind some of the dying shrubs on a small corner of the wall, you see the symbol you guys saw in West Cross.
Fuck! Well, we have to find her.
We will, Wolfric.
Evidently, but where to start?
Is there any trail? Can you see any?
There's a small pool of black ichor, but if you remember what happened in West Cross, they didn't really leave much of a trail.
She's a florist. Perhaps she has a aroma. You know, she deals with flowers a lot. Maybe some of the scent of the flowers still remains on her. We can try and sniff her out.
Her perfume. I know what her perfume smells like.
Marksar mutters after himself, a perfume, you fucking idiot.
From you would have worked a lot easier.
Would I be able to try and smell the air to see if I can pick up her perfume? Because she always had that perfume. It wasn't strong, but I know the scent.
You can give me a perception check.
Alright. Natural 20.
He's gotten 2 today, and it's where he needs them.
Gets it where it counts. As Wolfric, you don't know if it's a maddening sense of desperation or not, whether it's your own mind playing tricks on you, or whether you are genuinely smelling Sophia's perfume. That perfume that you got her nearly 10 years ago and she still wears to this day, to the point where she knows how to make it herself. She likes it that much. Where it seems to be leading out the northwestern portion of town, away from her alley, away from her house. Not too far from Mikhail's chapel, you can almost see the scent.
You get Ranagash. Eidolon, you're quick. You go get Ranagash. Marcusar, you're with me. I'm following this scent.
Yes. Marcusar notes down in his notebook that his plan was made irrelevant because Wolfric is really good at smelling shit.
So,
Just before he leaves, I'm going to expend a wee key point for my visage to say something to Wolfric. As Wolfric, you will hear in your mind.
Telepathy.
It's the last thing I'll say before turning around, giving you a nod and running, but it's as I'm running. Remember, if the brand was there, someone had to have made it.
can I reply to that? Or is it...
Sadly, no. It's one way.
One-way telepathy. As Eidolon, you return and get Ranagash. Ranagash, at this point, you will kind of be leaving Silor's house, kind of starting to make your way to the kind of main central area, not too far from Sophia's shop, as Eidolon sprints towards you at monkish speeds.
Good timing.
What was that? Sorry.
He's gone missing.
Of course.
Remember the brand from West Cross? Aye, same thing.
Of course.
Surprisingly, out of all of us, Wolfric's got a trail.
That's a new one.
Well, come on, we gotta catch up.
Alright.
Actually, are you that heavy, or could I just, piggyback you and dash?
What is your strength?
My strength is 13.
What's your strength, Matthew?
I believe it's... Yeah, it's 12.
No, you can't piggyback him.
If I used my arms to make my strength 18.
Yes, you could then piggyback him.
Matthew, do you want to ride? Considering Wolfric's already on the way.
Theory, yes. In practice, physical contact and being close to tentacles, not fan.
Cool. Eidolon would start running ahead in that case, and occasionally just have to stop, wait for you to catch up running, and then continue along himself. It's like when you're in a video game and your speed, your running speed is faster than the NPC's walking speed, but your walking speed's slower than their walking speed.
Yeah, no, I know it. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Not familiar with Assassin's Creed trailing missions.
Worse missions.
Yes.
As for Wolfric and Marcusar, as you guys are heading out of town, you guys obviously have a bit of speed on Eidolon and Ranagash, at least for a little while. As you head past the chapel, head past the kind of small cemetery out back, and head into the woods, both of your passive perceptions are high enough to notice something off. As in the kind of graveyard area, the small cemetery out back, kind of against one of the walls where a bench is sat, the two of you can see Mikhail. But with your passive perceptions, you can also see a lot of his vestments are stained.
Oh, have me and Ranagash already caught up?
At this point, if Wolfric and Marcusar stop, the two of you will have caught up.
Wolfric stops and heads over to Mikhail. Mikhail, what's wrong? You're covered in... Sophia's gone missing. Have you seen her?
You get no response.
Is he dead?
Yep. He looks relatively at peace, however, despite the, I guess, amount of what you can now to assume to be possibly blood.
Does he show any signs of wounds?
Upon initial inspection with your passive perception of 18, Marcusar, you can notice that he has a scratch mark that comes from his neck and goes down, as well as most likely several puncture wounds in his chest.
Do they look self-inflicted?
No.
No. Yeah, okay.
I tried to stop it.
Whatever took Sophia likely done McKellen as well. There's still hope, Wolfric.
We just gotta keep going. We need to find her.
We will. Do we just run off the trail?
Well,
Have the rest joined us?
Eidolon and Ranagash are there, so it depends if they make a comment on the dead body or not, so whether you just head into Mire.
This is Wolfric's friend. If he needs to say or do something, he would say and do it now.
I'm sorry, Mikhail. That could be. Sophia is gone, but I will try to find her. As I always. I hope the gods are as kind to you in death as you were to everyone in life. You know, if his eyes are open, he'll close his eyes and he'll keep pursuing the direction that he can kind of smell Sophia's scent.
Gesturing for Ranagash to catch up with them, I will check the body for one thing after Wolfric's gone.
Cool. So, what do you check for? Is Wolfric, Marksar, and Ranagash kind of disappear into Maiar?
It's making sure there's no blighted damage, because if his body's infected, it'll need to be burned.
There doesn't appear to be. Though, as you obviously, I guess, make sure, inspecting him, checking him over, you can find the brand along his leg.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what Marksar said. No, I'll leave him as he is, not wanting to disturb the way Wolfric left him, and dash after the boys.
Running! As Wolfric, I need you to make me 2 sets of survival checks, both with advantage.
Alright, 2 survival checks.
Yep, both with advantage.
Alright, so 2d20 KH1. Plus, what's my plus to survival? Nothing, so it's just 2d20 KH1. First one's a 10. Second one's a 6.
Also, in a gross way, it's quite satisfying that you did 7-8 on your advantage check from before, and then it was 9-10 on this one.
Yeah.
As despite having her scent, when you guys get into Maiar, getting to the forest, you kind of trail it to the side of the Gyldenfelde Mountains towards probably an old goat trail, at least by the looks of things, kind of standing above the forest, if only for a little while. But getting into that evening, you've lost it.
Where's it gone?
As you're on a cliffside, overlooking Maiar, with the scent gone and the sun setting.
Where the fuck? No, I can't have lost it now. No.
Yes, trying to help Wolfric on a cliffside, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So plenty of, at least a little bit of look over, even if it's through trees?
Yep.
Can I make a perception check? It'll be less investigation, because I'm just looking to see if I can see at least any sign of something moving through this area, recently or not.
Yeah.
That is a non-nat 20. That'll be only an 8 on dice.
From here, despite being on a cliffside, the treetops of Maiar are very obscuring. You can't see anything. At least nothing moving.
What's not moving?
Trees. Sorry.
Well, they might be swaying in the wind. I would believe the trees are moving.
Not really, there's not really a breeze tonight. It is cold
Make
and
a
it's
breeze.
bitter, but there is no breeze. Nice, Paul got a McFlurry.
I usually don't like them disturbing me, but
This is worth it.
This is the exception. Wolfric, I'm so sorry that your girlfriend is missing.
Fuck you.
I could go
I'd more turn to
McFlurry.
Wolfric. I'd more turn to Wolfric in that case. And just ask, well, you know this area better than us. Where does this trail go?
Where does this trail go?
This trail is an old goat trail. It is an old caravan trail that has not been used in a very, very long time. If you were to continue going this way, you'd eventually get to a break in the mountains, which can take you essentially a shortcut to Holtzal. Or if you were to follow the mountains down, it would take you to, well, close to the ocean.
We're either going to the ocean or through the mountains to Holthazal. Which do you think makes more sense? You know these things, they'll have taken her.
They wouldn't be near the sea, most likely, as they don't do well with water.
Okay, so we've got all our gear, right? We're heading into the mountains.
Radagash, can't your book help us find Sophia?
Could try and give us a general direction.
Yeah, anything will help.
Right, I will.
Wolfric is
his-
pacing and twitching and does not look good.
I shall bother Sinmaya again. The second time today.
It's a resource that we don't take advantage of enough.
Okay. So, because this is actually plot related, You'll need to use either his legend lore or divination.
That's divination does not really help. Reach somebody's different law, but you name would legend lore even work? Just the wording of the spell is it's like.
If you described the correct circumstance.
I'm just looking at that. If the thing you named isn't of legendary importance, you gain no information.
That's why I said.
Yeah, isn't exactly about.
If you described it a certain way. Yeah, everything with divination is how you word it. Hence, if you word it correctly, you could use either divination or legend lore to get a rough answer.
Also, does casting through Samaya require material components, or?
I desire living.
I guess the main problem with legend lore, though, is that it can only provide vague details, even if you do provide specific stuff, if it's not exactly legendary.
Is she legendary?
Not to the world. To me, maybe, but not to the world.
Here's the thing. This might be some bullshit, and maybe I wasn't listening properly when it was first described. But when we had that vision earlier, and Radagash appeared as the blighted, the scourged lord, who was the other figure in that tomb? It was a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who is especially known for like bringing life and plants and flowers to the world, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Sophia like that? Or
Are you
is that
suggesting what I think you're suggesting?
That would imply some dangerous things about Wolfbrook.
It's a hunch.
My God, the Scourge Lord is mad because Wolfric stole his girl.
No, I'm pretty sure the woman in the tomb was definitely not described with red hair. I feel that would have been a particular detail we would have picked up on.
Can you confirm?
I can't remember if I gave her a hair colour. I did
That's
describe
kind
her.
of-
I did describe her, however, as having incredibly long hair.
And also being about 8 foot tall.
Yes, also that.
How tall is Sophia?
Not 8 foot.
Not 8 foot tall.
Not even in heels?
Those are some big heels, Paul.
Yeah,
Big
in
ass.
theory, if you got healed big enough.
All the
believe
more
it-
to stop
I
you
believe-
with.
I believe those are called stilts.
I knew it was a stretch. I just thought I'd throw that idea in the ring.
We've been pursuing this epic quest only to realize that M has used it as an elaborate setup for a reincarnated soulmates AU.
Again, that implies very dangerous things about you, Yod,
Yeah, when's Wolfric's fall coming?
if this goes badly.
I mean, if he trips over the cliff, he's gonna fall pretty hard.
That will hurt a lot. At least he
Need
can
help
heal
with that,
himself
Ewan?
now.
Yeah, he'll fall. He just falls like the king from the world's best music video, Fallen Kingdom.
How did I know exactly what you were referring to with that?
Yeah.
A song so good, Coldplay made a cover.
They did.
Wasn't as good though.
Yeah.
Coldplay in the studio, like, this sounds boring as fuck. Drop it.
Ran. What you doing?
I'm thinking we're gonna go with divination. I think I'll just go with, like, if we go through the mountains, are we gonna find her? Are we gonna find Sophia? I should probably specify her name.
Yeah.
Sophia last name.
Sophia Flores.
Sophia Florist. Is that her name?
Her name is Sophia Flores.
Flores. Who's a florist?
He was born to do one thing.
Yeah.
Wolfric Reinbrand. Built to Brind Rounds. No,
Oh, that doesn't make any
Right,
fucking
right.
sense.
Brand Rinds. Sorry.
Oh, there it is.
So that is
Jesse,
your
what the fuck are you talking about?
that is your question, Ran. If you were to continue through the mountains, will you find Sophia Flores?
Mm-hmm.
As Samaya looks sounds very tired. You really brought me out to ask me that.
Yes.
Fine. Let me have a look. As several of the pages flick through on their own, both back and forth as he searches his, I guess, banks of knowledge. You guys watch as the book looks very, very active, even though Rand's just holding it. Well, it would appear if you continue down this mountain path, you would find Sophia Flores. Though not on the mountain path. More like under it.
Alive?
You get one question.
I know.
What do you think?
Honestly, I'd rather not think about it.
Well, you're gonna have to.
I'm aware.
Because you're gonna have to tell them what I told you, and they're gonna ask, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I should have really asked Sinmaya, why was she gonna be alive when we find her at the end of the road, and then, you know.
Thought you didn't want to do anything. So you just wanted to sit in that bag and sleep.
Yeah, but at least when you wake me up with these people, it's interesting. The crazy old man was just a crazy old man.
Alright then.
So what have you been able to find out, Ran?
If we keep going down the path and through the mountains, we'll find her. Or at least as far as the book can tell, things are likely. Things can change, but should find her.
Excellent. Well, this is as good as a lead we're ever going to get. We have to find her, and Wolfric will press on.
I'm happy to follow.
So,
Wolfric knows these paths.
As you kind of press on, keep going across the path, and it starts to get darker and darker, where you move from evening into nightfall.
Wolfric, I know I'm okay too, but pressing on.
Yes, Ranagash, Markzar, can either of you produce any light? I'd like to keep my hands free in case we're ambushed.
if someone were to light a torch, I can control it.
I have light, it's fine. And I'll just walk up to Wolfric and just like book his axe, and that's light on it.
Wolfric will take out the axe and then hold it, and then begin walking.
Could the axe glow anyway?
Nope.
Only when it is like smiting.
Yeah, it's not a normal D&D weapon, which always seems to have the ability to glow. As you guys keep walking, pushing on through the night, you get quite far. Time is becoming quite hard to, I guess, tell at this point, considering it is winter. It is a dark sky. There's not a lot of stars nor a lot of moonlight. The only thing that's guiding your way is Ariane, touched by Ranagash's magic, where if you continue to push, if you continue to travel through the night in the hopes of finding her, you will get into the next day with a point of exhaustion, each of you.
That's fine, it's just ability checks.
Right, we gotta keep going.
Fair
Are we
enough.
not concerned? Are we not concerned that having disability on checks like investigation and perception, say, would be not helpful?
Like short
I mean,
rest.
I'm more thinking
Or is
Wolfric's
it long
mindset. Would you really want to stop if someone that you cared about was literally just kidnapped?
No, but yeah.
Wolfric, your logic's great. Wolfric's not thinking logically.
Wolfric
Wolfric is.
does not care.
Yeah, imagine you like
And I honestly can't blame him.
go bring up the point and be like, no, I cannot convince Wolfric at this point.
Man is on a mission.
Mhm.
Man is
Ash
on a
raises
mission.
his hand and Marksar just puts it.
There's always the chance we might be able to find wherever this is before night's done. If we're pressing through the night.
Yes.
As can you all mark a point of exhaustion for me?
Okay.
First.
No problem.
This is the wrong book. I have too many folders for you idiots. It's this one.
Yeah, let's go.
This character sheet that I have doesn't have an exhaustion thing.
Gasp.
I'll just mark it down somewhere.
So it's
It's
disadvantage
probably got 2 or 3
on
points,
ability checks. Yeah, it's only one day. If you were doing this for longer, it'd be more, but it's one night without rest. As Ranagash, give me a wisdom saving throw, and I need the rest of you to make me perception checks. Oof,
Eee.
Matthew, do keep in mind you have Wolfric's bonus.
that is true. So that's
Oh, yeah.
9.
Eee.
/R, it's 2d20 KL1.
15, not
yeah. Paul, roll me again. It's with disadvantage.
Disadvantage, sorry.
You are exhausted.
Do I still have the bonus?
It is a check, not a saving throw. As for Paul, you notice nothing. Well, I see you notice nothing. You'll notice something, but you won't notice the big thing. So, Wolfric, Marcusar, you do it, guys. Don't notice the big thing, but you'll notice the small thing. Eidolon, you'll notice the big thing and the small thing. And Ranagash, ouch. As you guys are walking, who would be closest to Ran at this point?
Probably me.
Marcusar.
Yeah.
I'm
Eidolon
walking with Wolfric.
Wolfric are kind of leading the charge on this.
Okay.
I mean Eidolon. Eidolon's with Ranagash. No.
Nope, too late, you said it.
No, take backsies.
You can't take backsies, you already said it.
True.
Okay. Thank you. Thankfully, Matthew's lucky. As for the three of you, you guys hear the ground start to, I guess, crumble. You hear some rocks slide. Marcusar, with your past perception of 1, you are the last person to see it. As the three of you, obviously hearing the noise, turn around, and in the light of RAN, you watch Ranagash wobble, waver, and fall off the side of the cliff. He is about 30-40 feet on a small outcrop, on the edge of a small outcrop. You take 2 damage, Ran.
I know anticlimactic, to be honest.
Would you prefer to fall to your death?
No, but it would be dramatic.
You got lucky.
Mhm.
If Marcusar was more perceptive, he could have tried to catch you. However, obviously as he goes down for yourself, Ran, you kind of feel, I guess, heavy. You feel a bit dizzy. The cold air becomes quite warm, quite stagnant. And you kind of hear a voice in the distance, almost screaming, racking your head. You're not too sure what they're saying or what is even being said or what is even being done. It is just this nails on a chalkboard scream that completely shakes you to the point that you fall unconscious. For yourself, Eidolon, obviously you watch as Ranagash falls. You don't hear a scream, but you do hear a roar. As in the night sky, you can see shapes and shadows against black cloud that circle you like vultures quite high in the sky that look relatively small at first, and then they start to move further or closer towards you, and they get bigger and bigger. I guess a sense of worry comes over you, and then a small sense of relief as you see that they're not quadrupedal, they're only bipedal to a degree, though that doesn't help when, at least for Marcusar and Wolfric, when you guys see these creatures, when these creatures actually come into sights for the two of you, these were probably at once in their life, wyverns. They're not anymore.
Yeah, seeing this, more just preparing, as it doesn't exactly look like we'll have much of a chance to, and probably not best trying to run from things that can fly. I'm just going to ready and dodge.
As, can you boys roll me some initiative? Ran, still roll me initiative, even though you're on the edge of a cliff.
Alrighty. Wait, this is an ability check. Yeah, it's an ability
Yeah.
check.
Not bad as 16 though.
Doesn't matter, I rolled a 1, so let's just assume that How do I roll 2 nat 1s in a row? How does Craig get to roll nat 20 after nat 20, but I roll 2 1s?
You just need to get good, Paul. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
So it is, and then what is their dex? 0.
Oh, this combat is everything going to be done with disadvantage.
Where is yours, Craig?
No. What do you mean, where's mine?
Where is your initiative?
It's right there.
16.
Oh, never mind.
What is it, 16? Oh yeah.
It is, yeah. I am just blind.
Let's go.
Wolfric. And then Marcusar. Marcusar is at the bottom.
I don't want any jokes.
But there's so many to be made.
I will have none of them.
As I need to make a strength check. It fails the strength check. As you notice, as one of the creatures comes down, seemingly ignoring the three of you, as the other two land and start to circle the three of you, the other one attempts to grab a hold of Ranagash on the edge of the mountain cliff. It kind of swoops down, talons outstretched, claws ready to grasp a hold of him, though kind of misjudges the lip and scrapes several of the rocks, slightly destabilising the mountainside at the same time. As Ranagash, with head racked and consciousness slowly coming back to you, though you're not too sure how you got on the ground, what do you do as you see that you are precariously balancing on the edge of a cliff?
How much wiggle room do I have in terms of space here?
About 2-3 feet.
Ah. Yes, excellent. That's exactly what I wanted.
You also have a relatively contorted and angry wyvern screaming at you.
Right, okay, so first step first, let's not be killed. And I shall use my action to cast Mirror Image and create somehow fit 3 illusory duplicates of myself on this tiny little platform.
Just side by side.
Let's not concern ourselves with the physics of that. Let's just pretend it looks cool.
It's very
That's all
tight.
that matters.
You're just like three bottles all lined up on a shelf.
Just like shoulder to shoulder like a goddamn rubber
Literally-
shop quartet.
Literally 3 green bottles. Because he's a half orc.
Let's not honor that.
Come on, that was alright.
It was, it actually.
Bonus action, I shall use my ring for the first time in who knows how long.
I made you a cool magic item and you never use it.
I do. Never use it, so that's I'm down to recharging that. And let's just go with it. I want this thing out of my face, and I don't want to miss. So let's just drop like. Need any? Will I need any of those? Maybe. So let's drop just a first level magic missile on it. Get it out of my face. So that's 3d4 plus 3. Only 9 damage, but 9 more than 0.
I've named this wyvern Ran's wyvern.
You have a
No,
pet
we're
rat.
attached. Let's see, that's action. Bonus action. Movement, yes, let's not do that. So that's my turn.
As your kind of 3 or your mirror images also obviously all shoot magic missiles because they've got to mirror you in some way. As you do some damage to the wyvern, almost knocking it. Obviously not knocking it out of the sky, but knocking it enough that it also doesn't look very happy with your mirror images either. As Eidolon.
My turn?
Yep.
Oh, the dodge was not too useful now.
Nah, they rolled after you.
These are undeady style weapons, yes?
Yeah.
Cool. Are 2 of them close to us in that case?
Yep, 2 of them are on the kind of cliff edge, the kind of goat trail, the path with the 3 of you, and then 1 is still in the air, focusing on Ranagash.
Cool. Ranagash seems to have himself to a degree. Turning around. Well, if you can get there before these 2. More just gestures at them. Probably starting to scrape, starting to claw. Get Ranagash up from there.
Alright, I'll try and take him. We'll need to take them down though.
As just snapping his fingers, the tendrils sort of appear around the 2 wyverns who are close to us, and can I get 2 dex saves?
A 17 and a 6.
So the 6 fails, as it takes 7 force damage. As targeting the one that did not get stabbed by the tendrils, I'll move over, crossing over the arm, putting it down to the side, but keeping the tendrils sort of lashing at the other one, just making 2 slashes. It's mine now. So that's a nat 20 and a 16 to hit.
Both will hit.
Both that. Cool. So I'll roll the non-crit first. Takes 11 points of slashing damage, and the crit takes 24 points of slashing damage.
As thankfully with your passive perception, Ranagash, and the noise of wyverns, you cannot hear Eidolon attacking.
Excellent.
At least from your ledge.
Mm-hmm.
As wyverns do not like you, Eidolon. Only one of those hits, and it's because it's a nat 20.
Yeah, of course it is.
Well, the others were between the ranges of 10 and, well, it was a 9, 10, and a 12. So, I can't do ranges on the fly. I need 2d6. 2. I am mathed out from this week. 9... 2 is that 5... 14 damage. As one of them kind of almost wraps its tail around you, attempting to sting you, but in its place bites you instead, as you're kind of coiled by these two very serpentine wyverns. Wolfric.
Me, that's fine.
Right. Where's the one that's nearest to Randiash that isn't his wyvern?
Currently coiled around Eidolon.
I'm gonna attack it. R/1d20 plus 8.
That will hit.
R/1d12 plus 4. I can reroll 1s and 2s. Let's go.
That's
16,
not a 2 anymore.
16 damage. Second hit. 15.
That will also hit.
Let's go 1d12 plus 4. There we go, 15. So a total of 31 points of damage.
Gonna burn him with a smite or nah?
No, I'm trying to conserve spell slots.
A paladin, not divine smiting?
He's not just a trope, you know.
No, he wasn't originally a paladin.
As Marcusar.
Yes. I would like to ask, should I conserve a 5th level spell slot?
Probably.
Damn. Well then it'll just be a 4th then, though a 5th one would have been cool.
Unlike most of us, a short rest doesn't exactly help you too much. We can lick our wounds after that, but...
It's more if I wanted to target one creature or 2.
With what exactly?
Elemental Bane.
Just one should be fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna target one of the wyverns with Elemental Bane.
Which one?
I'm gonna say the one attacking Ranagash. Rand's wyvern.
On save.
It is a con save.
I'm blinded myself.
What damage type are you choosing, Paul?
I'm choosing fire.
4, which would take it to 18.
Fuck.
That didn't work.
Spell save DC was 17.
It didn't work.
Well,
There was a 4th level spell slot.
what a waste.
Welcome to the problem with burning high level spells. Sometimes your spell save DC just doesn't cut it.
Yeah. Oh well, what do I still have?
Probably plenty, just nothing with your bonus action.
They're not in range to hit with my sickle, are they?
I mean, if you move up to the two that are on the cliff side, yes.
Okay, I'll move up to one and swipe it with my sickle.
Cool. Give me an attack roll.
I'm just forgetting the math. I think it's just a +2. Yes. But it's with disadvantage, isn't it?
Nope. Just ability scores at the moment, not attack rolls and
Oh.
saving throws. That's 3rd level exhaustion.
It's a 4 anyway, so...
That misses.
Yes, well, great. Good round of combat, Paul.
Great. Ranagash, roll me 2 d20s.
Great.
Because I need
Just
your...
straight.
Yeah, it's for your mirror image.
11 and a 9.
Uh,
Wait, let me suffer how this works.
So you still currently have 3 duplicates, yes?
Yes.
So it's a 6 or higher, changes the attack to a duplicate. And then I need to roll to see if it hits the duplicate, which is just 10 because your dex is 0. Yes?
Yes. Wait, I haven't. Would mage armor apply to them?
It does
It's
not.
just your dexterity mod.
Yeah, so then there would be 10.
Cool.
I got dex.
As the wyvern kind of, I guess, lowers its altitude ever so slightly, you can see its tail kind of batting around where it suddenly becomes quite rigid, quite frigid, and stabs into the cliffside, almost hitting one of your duplicates. It retracts its tail, pulling some of the cliff with it, stabs again, and stabs straight through one of your duplicates, dispelling it. As you have 2 left.
It's still an 8 or higher.
As Ran, it is now your go.
Well, that was only mildly terrifying. So let's find big. I think it is still looking jolly well after that magic missile.
It is, yeah.
Right, let's bring out the bigger firepower then. Let's Scorching Ray and yeah, let's go for 3rd level. Let me just that scale. Wait, 1 additional ray. Okay, so that would be 4 attacks. Do I have disadvantage on these? Just before I don't face my macro, because it's a spell attack. Does that? No, because it's not an ability check. So
It's not an ability. It's not an ability check, and it's despite it being close to you, because it's flying, it's out with the range limit.
So, how many of those hit? Someone tells me not many.
2 of them.
2 of them.
I wonder which two.
Yeah.
Be the 2 11s.
Up. 17 damage. Fire. Burn. 3rd level also.
It doesn't look very happy after the fire, but it still looks alright in terms of its physicality.
That's good. And we can
As I
work
drop
on
my headphone and can't hear anyone. There we go. I can now hear you all again.
Bit about you.
As Eidolon.
Hello. I'm being called by one. Is it the one I damaged with the sword?
Yes.
Cool. Keeping it at range with just a hand, since it wasn't able to hit me that well, I'll just take the sword and just try double step into it. Not 120. That's a 26 and a 28 to hit.
Both will hit.
And then, essentially after the stabs, I will also lean in with the hand that's sort of keeping it away, and just let the tendrils start stabbing into it. I hit, of course. That's a 15.
Yep.
Cool. So it takes in total... it takes 31 points of damage in total.
Nice.
It's on 69 health. Wonderful.
How did you guess? It is now my go, and I can attack things, kind of. 2, and then 2. Those are some better rolls. Craig's gonna be a dick, though. As Wolfric, it is a 26 and 25. 26 and a 25.
Both hit.
And Eidolon, it would be a non-nat 20 and a 19.
Cool. To the first one, I'll reaction shield, which makes both of them miss.
Cool. I need you both to make me Constitution saving throws.
I can do that. You have my aura.
So I need some
I'm assuming
dice.
this is unrelated to being hit.
This is unrelated to being hit.
23.
That is a pass.
26.
That is also a pass. Wolfric, you are my silver dice. Eidolon, you are my rainbow dice. 4, 5, 10, 14... 24 damage, Wolfric.
Okay.
Eidolon, 11. No. 12.
It's already half for Wolfric, or?
He's not doing a damage type, he resists.
I thought you passed the save, or was that just for, like, that condition or something?
That's just for damage. You guys passed its poison condition of its stinger. A save you don't want to fail.
Did it actually hit me with the stinger then? Damn.
It did. It missed you with its bite. You reacted
So
to its
what was
bite.
it? My shield lasts until the start of my next turn, which made both of them miss.
Ah, ignore the damage.
My
then.
AC becomes 22 until the start of my next turn.
Yeah,
because
I keep forgetting it's
shields
not
last that long.
Yeah, ignore the damage, Greg.
I'm adding back because I forgot what my health was.
It was 12
I'm
damage.
one off. I'm one off glory, which is just really sad.
As Wolfric, it is now your go. I keep forgetting shield lasts longer than one attack.
It's the best first level spell in the game. Just period.
I'm going to attack the one that just attacked me, but as well to attack it back. Wolfric's looking very desperate. He basically is just trying to get this fight over with.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
There's bigger fish to fry.
30, 20. There we go, total of 18 damage. Wolfric's just, like, taking all of his aggression out, just, like, violently hacking away at it.
As Marcusar.
the elemental bane didn't really work very well. What do I want to do?
This count as interrupting in Gairdre's plans.
I don't think it would. So I think I'm free to attack these guys. I mean, I already did and missed, but I think I always forget which spells I can use. Sorry, I should have been doing this while everyone else was taking their turns.
It's okay, Andrew can call you out in the comments.
Shut up, Andrew. Oh no! Did we? Craig said earlier that they have an air of death about them, don't they?
They're a little blighty, yeah.
Yeah, they're a
well,
little
that doesn't
blighty.
work. Why do I have so many spells that do necrotic damage?
Because
you're an undying druid.
Yeah.
I looked at your subclass in the sort of like M review videos, and all of your ESL is just necrotic damage.
I know, it's fucking.
You need to find some corpses to raise with your actual subclass feature, Paul.
Sophia?
Ewan's going to kill you, not in the game, in real life.
I have one, but I don't think it'll be useful because wyverns can fly, can't they?
Yes.
Which spell are you thinking?
Earth Tremor.
I
But
mean,
also,
to be
we're on a
fair,
cliff, and that also said Ranagash 2 is almost death.
well, you
It's
could
still effective. We're on the ground right now.
set it off at the moment.
It's also not in this book. So they did
It's
research.
because it's not PHP.
Yeah.
You could set it off, and then it would affect them at that point because they're on the ground just now. But you are also in close quarters with Eidolon and Wolfric.
Don't worry
Ranagash,
about it, I'd probably be fine.
Ranagash would be all right.
I mean, it's a pretty small radius, so you could try just center it on the two that are messing with me.
I'm going to try that.
And to be fair, it doesn't say anything about, like, because it's only that 10 feet area, it might not affect the edges of the cliff where Ranagash is on, so it's like a small radius.
It's difficult terrain, and yeah. That doesn't really do anything. It does, well,
I mean, it knocks them prone.
Take some bludgeoning damage, yeah. Fuck it, yeah. Earth
Is that
Tremor.
a dex save?
So it would be a dex save from Wolfric and Eidolon as well.
I can't center it in a way that won't affect them, but only the words. Well, and it's an ability check which you have disadvantage on, right?
No, it's a saving throw.
Oh, it's a saving throw, fuck's sake.
That's a
15.
31. I don't know if 31 passes your DC, Paul.
I'm gonna say it does, and the 15 doesn't.
Wolfric's
Both of the wyverns fail on 2 5s.
nice.
So the 2 wyverns are prone. Wolfric is prone.
D6 each.
and-
Well, you all three take a D6. Should roll
D6
3 separate
damage.
or what?
Just roll 1.
Yeah.
Everyone takes the same.
Ow.
2 damage. What a pathetic amount of damage.
They're prone, though, Paul.
Well, I'm gonna stab the one that's. I'm gonna slice it with my sickle.
You have advantage because it's prone.
Let's go.
Oh, and they've already gone, so yeah. We'll actually be able to take advantage of this.
14.
That'll hit.
Great. That does. Not a lot, but something. Yeah.
Iconic, Paul.
Ah.
Paul, you're giving druids a really bad rep this campaign.
He's trying. Don't be mean.
I'm not being mean.
I'll be some slack.
He's doing great in RP.
But they're both prone, and Wolfric prone as well.
Okay. I have a question,
Yes.
because Mirror Image doesn't say anything about this. But it's in terms of destroying the projections. What occurs when an AoE is cast amongst the projections?
As in, like, a damaging AoE.
Yes.
It states an attack needs to hit it, but it ignores all other damage and effects.
A duplicate can be destroyed only by an attack that hits it. It ignores all other damage and effects.
I'm assuming that means it ignores AoE because that's not an attack hitting it. It's not an attack roll.
Yeah.
Should be a pretty fair assumption.
Which means the only one to make this would be Ranagash, as I need to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy. That's... I have a funny feeling I should use one of my funny die on this.
Yeah.
Let's use the heirloom. I'll take one of the 15s. No. What's my bonus? It's a +2 actually. Yeah, I'll just take the 17 as is, and then with my +2 that becomes a 19. So say goodbye to this number up here.
By 17, which means you've got two 15s left. Which means, thankfully, you pass. Yay! As the wyvern kind of beats its wings, almost envelops itself into a cocoon, if only for a moment, where Eidolon, Wolfric, Marcusar, you guys will feel the effects, not actually be affected by the effect, as when the wyvern reopens its wings, it erupts with a blighted wave that attempts to send you off the edge of the cliff. Thankfully, you are able to resist.
Yeah.
And do not take
Good
the
choice
damage.
using the funny dice.
As it is now your go.
Okay, and question that I should have asked before now, can I actually see the other guys on the cliff?
No,
Okay, that's good.
they're above you.
Okay, that's good. I couldn't reduce my dice. Anyway, right. Well, this thing wants to tango, I'm gonna oblige it. So I'm gonna just take out good over reliable, and I'm going to 3rd level Scorching Ray again, 2 charges of the ring, and as a bonus action just do another 3rd level. So that's like
8 attacks.
8 attacks, yes.
All of the fire damage.
Yes, so where's my thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all of them but the 9 hit, or does the 12 hit?
The 12 doesn't. All but the 12 and the 9.
Okay, so that's 6. That's not bad, that's 75% hit rate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In fact, why am I doing it like that? It's just 12d6. Because it's all in the one turn. I'm a genius.
Matthew messed up the code!
I'm a genius. There we go, 45 fire.
Math.
That's, let me just check I've marked everything off. Yes, 1 charge in the ring. I do not have that many. There we go. That's what happens when you try to type and talk at the same time.
Yeah, it is, at this point, not looking good both physically and annoyedly.
Good and not good, respectively.
As Eidolon, the night sky is erupting in flame.
I mean, something right's going on. The one that was coiled around me, I'm assuming it's now on the floor.
It is on the floor, yeah.
Cool. I'm going to make 4 attacks against it, burning a key point for flurry of blows. Oh, it's 2d20 because it's wrong. Plus. So that's a 24 and a nat 20. Then a 25 and another nat 20. So I'll roll you the non-crits, and then I'll roll you the crits. Hey, Paul, look, it's another 2 nat 20s. Haven't you missed that?
Stop rubbing that in my face.
So that's 19 on the non-crit. And then 11 on the non-crit. And then 50 on the longsword crit.
Oh.
And 18 on the fist crit.
Cool, you kill it.
Jeez.
This thing is just fucking eviscerated.
I think I rolled max damage on the crit.
Let me do the
You
math
did.
on that. 30, 80. You did 98 points of damage.
Is that the biggest attack we've seen yet?
In this campaign, yeah.
Well, 50 damage.
Yeah, as
That's
one of
not
the wyverns is dead. However, the other wyvern is not. To which case I need Craig, Marcusar, Wolfric. Can you make me Constitution saving throws?
Yes, GI.
Alright, 1d20 plus.
It's only an 11.
Do love rolling low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did 98 damage. Time for fails.
1, 2.
Perfectly balanced as something should be.
That is true. This will be half for you, Wolfric, so that is positive.
This wouldn't happen to be a missile or a ranged attack.
Nope.
never mind.
Pardon me.
I have to ask Matthew.
No, I respect you for asking. I respect your commitment.
Half is 14. Wolfric, you
Did
take
anyone-
14 damage.
14 damage.
Marcusar, Eidolon, you take 28 damage.
It's nice and easy math.
As similar to the eruption that happens off the side of the cliff, the wyvern that is left kind of gets up, shakes itself off, kind of gets down on its haunches and roars at Wolfric, to which case you watch as the blight seems to erupt from every single one of its spikes, every single one of its crevices, every single one of its cracks, and just covers the cliffside. As Wolfric, it is now your go.
I'm just gonna rush this thing. Wolfric is just like, get the fuck out of our way.
Becoming a nuisance at this point.
Reroll.
Do you-
Ones.
Do you still have your maneuver feat going?
I do. Maybe. Yes, I do. A 14 hat?
Yep.
Excellent. So 2 13s, that's 26.
It is still up,
Fucking bad.
but it doesn't look good. It is looking limp. As Marcusar.
Well, I don't have much else left, so could I please Thorn Whip the last wyvern?
Isn't there 2 left?
There's 2.
Oh, I thought there was.
There's one on the cliffside and there's one attacking Branagash.
Like the one attacking Ranagash.
Give me a spell attack roll.
I'm good at these. Should be anyway. 22.
That'll hit. Roll me some damage.
Cool. Solely
2d6.
2d6. I was making sure I hadn't like. I was supposed to like do 3d6 at higher level or some shit. I don't know.
No,
You
you're
do
not
the
at that
36
level
at
yet.
higher level.
Yeah, yeah. 4.
And it's also pulled towards you.
And can I swipe it with my sickle?
Nope, it's not that close yet.
Great. Wait, I can pull it up to how much?
10 feet.
Closer to me? 10 feet closer to me, so I wasn't within 10 feet.
No, Ranagash is like 40 feet down. The wyvern is hovering just above him. It's just within the reach of your thorn whip, so it's now 20 feet right in the middle of the two of you.
Okay, well, Ranagash, I'm giving you some
Slightly
peace for a
higher.
bit. If anything, I've distracted it, so you can get out of there. I can't really do much else. God, I need to choose better spells.
Crutch of Druids, most of their spells require concentration.
Can I healing word myself?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. There's something. I'll give me 3d4 plus 4.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. The dice hate me today.
It knows what you've done.
Yeah, shh.
Like we don't know already.
As Ranagash, can you roll me another couple of d20s?
Okay. That's fine, I'll just... 2, yes.
2, yes. Yes.
I'm tempted to portion, but I don't need to, and it's kind of necessary.
As the wyvern comes down, attempts to grab one of your duplicates. Obviously, the duplicate is dispelled, and then, possibly out of anger, stabs another one with its tail.
Nice.
As you have none. No more duplicates.
Oh.
It is just you as it's staring at you. Very, very close. Almost in your face.
We get some F's in chat for the Ghost Rans. Gave their life in service to the real Ran.
As it is now real Ran's go.
Okay. I do not like it. Is it within melee range? Is probably the question to
It
ask.
is now in melee range.
I don't like that. That really only means I don't have many options then, so I guess it will be a second level magic missile. Plus our 4d4 plus 4. Please die. That's abysmal.
So that takes it to... It's not dead.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That is pretty abysmal as well. But it is not dead. Now it looks really mad at you. So I also need to roll to see if it recharges. Idle 'em.
Oh, there is one left up here.
Yep.
I'm going for that one in that case. 3 attacks.
Give me a roll.
So that's a 21. And
Roll me a d20.
oh, my sword is fine. The other one will miss, so there'll be damage, and then essentially they'll probably just get stuck in the ground, most likely, and just
Or
taking the
stuck in
hand
the
off of
creature.
it. I stuck in the creature for that, and then the punch is a 13. Does that hit?
Yep.
Oh. So 10, 5. That is still very nice damage.
It did.
Cool. I'll be able to get the sword out of it now then, but
Well, yeah, it's dead on the ground.
now it's deceased, but that's the end of my turn.
As Wolfric, it is your go, because both the wyverns are dead. But you're still technically
Right.
in combat, because there is a wyvern about 40 feet below you attacking Ranagash.
Right. Wolfric's gonna head over there. How damaged does it look?
Pretty damaged. It is flying with a crooked wing, and at this point it is using its claws at the end of its wings to almost cling on to the cliffside.
Right. Wolfric's gonna be like, gonna look at him and he's like, I do not have the time to deal with you bat-winged fuck. So, I think, and he takes out he takes his axe, he holds it like that, and he begins to let it sway back and forth. You're gonna go for a nap, and I cast sleep. Just at
Nice
first
time.
level. Just at first level. So, 5d8.
Yeah.
24. Does it have less or more than 24 hit points remaining?
Less.
Just
So it falls asleep.
Give me 2 seconds to double check.
Gosh, how much HP are you actually on?
50.
Okay, you're fine then, Ran.
Yeah.
Because that only subtracts that by 6, which would take that to 18, which would knock you by 18, but it doesn't knock you to 0, so you're fine. As the wyvern is very, very close, right up in your face, clinging onto the mountainside, you hear Wolfric.
Just making sure this isn't classed as an undead.
Oh, fuck, it is.
Oh, no.
Undead aren't affected by
By
the sleep
sleep.
spell.
Because it's changed classification to undead. This is why I have my notes and I read them.
Well, this is unfortunate.
Yeah, as those 24 would then go to Ranagash, but thankfully it also doesn't knock Ranagash out.
Yeah.
As sadly nothing happens, Wolfric. As I should have read my notes.
Fuck!
As Marcusar.
Marcusar, finish this thing.
Paul's
You finish
googling.
this thing?
Paul's googling what something does.
I have to be doubly sure in case I fuck up again. Hold on, I need to read the reading of this very carefully. So how far away am I from the last wyvern?
40 feet.
Why is the range got to be 30 feet? I'll move. Can I move 10 feet closer?
Nope, because you gotta move 10
Yeah.
feet down.
Yeah. Fuck. Fuck. Okay, hold on.
I mean, you could sacrifice the moonsicle and fling it.
No, it's the only interesting thing about my character. It has a +1.
+1, he says.
Okay, can someone name me a good couple of flying beasts to conjure?
Some fucking eagles.
I mean, what CR is an eagle? What's the best flying animal that I can conjure right now that can deal with this thing? Because it's about the only thing I can do apart from just hit it with a thorn whip again.
You
There
can
are
summon-
giant
You
eagles,
can
which are
summon a giant
CR1.
eagle, which is CR1.
Okay, I'll summon 2 of those bad guys.
Okay.
See if they hit though.
Yeah.
They got to go in their turn in initiative.
Whenever that is.
I'm at the end of initiative, so they just come after me, right? No.
They get
think
their
they
own.
roll.
They get their own initiative roll.
Come
and
on.
they rolled a 19.
Why do the things that I conjure roll better than me?
It's why on M's Fallout she names all of her guns after us character idiots, and they all have like little numbers at the start, like code numbers of our damage types and numbers, and Marcusar's is AS for assisted.
God damn it.
Yours is AS4 because you do assisted damage plus a D4.
I conjured 2 giant eagles.
You could really just watch Paul die inside as you said that.
You can pinpoint the exact moment his heart rips in half.
Right there.
And I thought you were going to kill it, so I put the wyvern away, which was my mistake, because the wyvern's still alive.
Fine, we can put it down.
Stop making shit undead. Half of my spells don't work on undead.
I'm sorry!
It's an undead curse! Blame Craig!
When the eagles do appear, I command them to attack the wyvern.
As Ranagash.
Oh, we had a fighter in our party.
They're just summoned to a crescendo of "Welcome to the Hotel California."
Yeah, Ranagash. Does an 18 and a natural 20 hit you?
Yeah. Yep.
Smallest violin begins playing.
I can't even shield that because if I shield that it goes to an 18, which still hits anyway.
Can I also get a possible Constitution saving throw?
Okay, let's. It has been a turn.
Benefits from my bonus. I'm close enough.
You are.
I'm vertical.
Actually, are you close enough? What is your radius?
Is a cylinder permanent? It's like, does the aura stretch downward? Or
I usually take it as a sphere.
Yeah.
within 10 feet of you?
Yeah.
So
Are you
that's
10 feet now?
That's a no.
I
Okay.
think he's 40 feet down.
I have numbers though.
You've got
I
two
have.
15s.
Yeah, I will do a. I don't know what the correct verb would be, but I'll turn 1 to a 19 and 1 to an 11, and use the 19.
You have an 11
This
left.
is the law. This is the law of equivalent exchange.
Exactly.
And you take the 19, which means you pass, which means you don't take the damage. Actually, no, you don't take the damage.
But he doesn't take the damage.
It's not them. Also, Ewan's camera's still off.
So it is.
We've been playing without
Oh.
him.
Because we've been going for so long at this point. It's almost half 10.
5, 10,
Yeah.
20, 24, 26. 26 damage.
Okay.
As it manages to bite into you, its tail wrapping around you and piercing into your side, though thankfully the poison is ineffective.
Let's go.
As it is now Marcusar's eagles go.
They kill it.
Back! Kill it! Kill!
I mean, they have a +5 to hit. They should be fine.
When you say that, it's not quite the good boys, is it?
Kill!
Bird time.
Okay, one misses, one hits.
Oh my god,
Come on.
can they do it?
Come on.
Favorite.
Come on.
Just. It has 6 health. It did 6 damage.
Let's go.
It's the bird.
I command them to perch themselves on my shoulder. Actually, how big is a giant eagle?
Don't do that.
Giant.
Don't do that.
Okay, I command them to stand by my side like they're my guard eagles.
Eagles.
Eagle!
As yes.
How long do conjured animals last?
An hour? An hour concentration, I think.
I believe so. That sounds about right. On.
Are you thinking scouting, Ewan?
Yes.
I mean, there's. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, up to an
Mhm.
hour conjuration.
Mhm.
Conjuration? Concentration.
Yeah.
Though you still have to get Ranagash up.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a rope?
Wolfric will lower his rope with a pickaxe tied to it that he still has from the time we took that pickaxe from the tomb. I kept that pickaxe.
Yeah, you took the rope and pickaxe.
I'm gonna lower it down and allow Ranagash to grab on using the pickaxe as a handle, essentially.
Just pull him up.
I also have
Do
an
you
eagle
want
that could
some-
have flew above.
Yeah, I was waiting for the eagle to just carry me up, but this works too, I guess.
Well, there's less
Wolfric
chance
will-
of the pickaxe hurting you.
Yeah.
Wolfric wraps the ends of the rope and goes.
Give me
Oh,
a
one of my-
strength.
Do you want assistance on that, Ewan? Because I do still have
yes.
my arms active.
You want
Yes.
assistance? One of the eagles helps.
So that would be a straight roll then.
Yep.
A strength check or athletics?
Athletics.
It's
14.
not bad.
It takes a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, but you are able to pull Ranagash up the cliff face and get him back onto stable land and not on a 2-foot ledge.
I've named one of my eagles Eddie.
Fuck off. Took me a second to get that.
They're not looking too great either. I should specify. They're like, it looks like they're missing like half their feathers. You know, they're kind of more like vultures than eagles.
You torture them just by summoning them into existence.
Kinda, yeah. They're all French bakers.
As yes,
It's an interesting sentiment.
the 4 of you are out of combat. Ranagash, you're left with 1 portent and 11. As you are still in darkness, with the bodies of the wyverns, or at least 2 of the wyverns, on the ground around you, and the other one plummeting to nothing.
Is anybody severely injured?
The gash.
Are you defining severely?
Could I sneeze on you and you die?
No.
Do we want to take a short, like, maybe 10 minutes just to tend to our wounds with bandages and stuff,
Yes.
and then just
Let's say
straight back?
it in character, Wolfric. I know we have to find Sophia, but could we
Yeah,
rest?
we need to heal. Ranagash, how are you looking?
Taking a bit of a beating, but I'll be fine.
How much hit points would you need out of him?
On a scale from 1 to 52, I'm at a 24.
We want to head up a quick short rest. You could see how much he heals from that, then heal him.
Yeah,
Hit die.
Mhm.
we'll
got
do
all
that.
mine, so I
Wolfric
can
will
just-
expend some hit die.
Key points back.
56 average roll.
We'll roll 5d8.
Slash R
Plus
4d10 plus
Like a 5, so let's roll
Eight.
4.
28.
4d6 plus 8.
I'll burn
Yes.
one more and see if that gets me back. So that's a 3d8. One more gets me healed. Hooray! God damn it.
That's 46. Let's roll
Really just
one
make me
more
burn through
time.
all of them.
No, wait a second. Wait a second, Craig. You can save those. As we're sat down taking a short rest, I cast Prayer of Healing. Everybody will regain 20 hit points.
Oh, I'm good.
Let's go. That's Pog.
Okay, so we're full, and I only cost 4.
I did learn the pretty slick thing about short rest is that you can expend all your hit dice, and then if you've still got some hit points remaining, you can keep expending more until you have as much as you want. Pretty neat.
How many spell slots can I regain on a short rest?
You can't.
Yeah.
Your subclass changed.
Oh fuck. God damn it.
You have a different subclass now, Paul.
Thank you, DM.
4.
Also, if we travel and dawn occurs, that is when the rings recharge, so it's just a reminder.
It is still nighttime at the moment.
It's just
as-
for when dawn occurs.
It's below arcane recovery.
I guess for yourselves, you still obviously have Paul's burbs. If you want
Eddie,
to,
and I haven't named the other one. Eddie 2.
if you want an attempt to scout,
I will do that. I will send them out to search. We already know they're like in the mountain pass, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, I'll send them out into the pass to kind of look for just anybody. And if they do find something, to bring back an olive branch, or is that a different story?
it's a different story.
It's a different bird.
Can you give me a perception, and it's +4, not using your perception, using the eagle's perception. Give me 2 of them.
I roll 2, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have
6,
one
7,
roll.
8.
Like.
Eddie's doing this job, but Eddie 2
Eddie
is
2.
not.
Fuck it.
So
That's why. That's why he's Eddie 2. You know.
Why did we invite him?
Who invited Eddie 2?
Eddie 2 comes back fairly quickly with nothing.
Shrugs its wings like.
However, Eddie is also, I guess, pretty quick to come back. A little bit longer, mind you, coming to the end of your short rest by the time he comes back. However, when he comes back, he is holding something relatively interesting, which when he drops, clatters against the stone floor. As he went off in a westerly direction rather than northwesterly, heading closer to the sea, or the ocean, kind of further into Maiar, as the thing that he drops appears to be a rather battered version of the emblem that Wolfric wears.
I pick it up and bring it to Wolfric and it's like, what does this mean? I know it's an iron dragon, but would they be in this pass?
I have a question. Does this look like the first badge that I got? The one that I gave to Sophia?
No.
So this is a different person's badge.
This is a different person's emblem.
This is an Iron Dragon's emblem, but it's not mine, meaning there may be people nearby. You can speak with animals. What did your bird see?
I speak with animals. They are conjured animals, like they are mine. So should I be able to communicate with them, or are they not able to do that sort of thing?
Give me 2 seconds, this one, I'm just double checking.
Yeah.
Because they understand you, but I don't know if they can speak to you.
I don't believe they do.
Your animals.
They can.
They don't understand you. They just take verbal commands.
Yeah, they're not. They're not like that sentient.
They're also
They're
not
also,
considered beasts.
yeah, they're spirits of beasts.
They're spirits
Yeah.
of beasts classified as Fae.
Yes.
Which means speaking with animals would not work because it only classifies beast, and they are not beasts.
Yeah, they'll just do what they're told, and they don't do anything else. So that's no use. I could command them to lead us to it. To lead us to where they found them. Does that work?
That would work.
Okay. We have taken. How long is a short rest?
10 minutes, usually 10 minutes to an hour, so you can take any amount of time within that.
They're only here
Let's-
for an hour, so.
let's just say
I'll
10
take
minutes.
the 10 Yeah, because it takes 10 minutes to cast Prayer of Healing.
So about 10 minutes.
Okay. I command them to lead us to where they found this sigil.
As the bird starts to lead you, Eddie starts to lead you. Eddie too is feeling very disappointed with himself.
Rare, you know.
As they lead you over the mountainside. Past the gap in the mountains that would lead you northward to Hotzol, they start to take you kind of southwesterly, back towards Maiar, where you guys end up on an overlook, where you can't see a lot as it is still nighttime, though dawn is not too far away, at least while you're on this side of the world. As you look over the forest, you look over the, I guess, end of the trail as it starts to dip back into Maiar, and you see that a whole section backed onto the mountains has been completely destroyed. The size of this deforested area could rival that of the Citadel, as overlooking the hillside you can see log palisades from the destroyed trees, and you can see the scatterings of campfire on an outer wall. As you can see, quite a large encampment that is definitely not the orcish encampment, we'll put it that way.
Just seeing this, I'll turn to the rest of the group and just say, I think we found where the missing people have been going.
We spot any people in the encampment?
Nope, it is too dark. There is a few shadows that you can see, at least from your perspective, around the campfire, but numbers-wise, you can't see them at the moment. It is too dark, and they're too far away. You have got an overlook of this area at the moment.
We made good progress getting here tonight. If we wait maybe just a few minutes, maybe an hour, with sunlight we should get a better perspective. We can't risk being seen, so more just gesturing to the tree lines around us. We need to stay in cover. We've also still got some darkness, form some, what's the best way to put it? Cover, I suppose.
I agree.
Question, with our short rest, are we still exhausted?
Well, coming to the end of tonight is you guys wait for dawn, or at least some dawn as you climb down from the cliffside and get into the tree line so that you've got a little bit of cover. You guys will no longer be exhausted. As you have short rest, you have prayed of healed, and you will obviously wait that little bit longer for light to start to appear. As we end tonight, and next week, you guys get to start a small espionage mission.
Espionage, let's go!
Let's not let Paul into it.
Let's go. That's my new thing. I'm not a druid anymore. I'm a rogue.
Dear God.
To try and get into this prison camp on the edge of Mire, where seemingly quite a lot of people have been taken by the size of the deforested area.
That's always great.
A citadel's worth of people.
Will it be dawn by the end of the session?
It will start to break to dawn.
Does that count for the ring? Or not?
Recharge your,
D4 plus 1 dawn.
recharge your rings for next time, boys, because I will forget.
There's enough.
Every
And
character in this story has a ring but me.
Wolfric doesn't have a ring.
Yeah, he does. He has the engagement
He
ring.
got one recently.
Yeah, but that's not his, that's for Sophia.
It's the future.
As in addition to recharging your rings and removing your exhaustion points, you also level up.
Level 10. Level 10.
Level 10.
10.
We're halfway through the story, boys.
I'm immune to disease and poison. Just somehow.
Give or take.
It just happened.
Let's see what minor thing the druid gets.
It's 10th level, you get a subclass feature.
Yeah.
You get a big thing.
Your subclass
Nice.
isn't in the book, Paul.
So it is. What do druids get anyway? Like spells or whatever.
You'll get some new spells because, of course, you know a number of spells. I think it's
Yeah.
wisdom plus your level, so you'll learn a new one.
Fair.
At 10th level, you also gain a second for 5th level spell slot,
I do. That's kind. Cantrip's note goes up by 1.
and your subclass allows you to, whenever you create your withered creatures, to imbue them with a poison, so that when they hit, they can poison things. With a
Why do you
unique
know my
poison.
subclass better than me?
Because he reads
Because-
my documents.
I read her document, and I help her make almost all of them.
Slash R1.
Do you want to
one
turn to play in
D10
Marcusar and I'll play Eidolon?
plus 4.
Do you think you could do this, Paul?
Oh,
No, I
that's
don't think
that's
I could.
4 plus 8.
You actually have good roll, Ewan.
It happened.
He has good health roll.
Yeah, essentially, Paul, using your poisoner's kit, which you'll have expertise in because of your subclass, you can make unique poisons if you get the materials for them.
Yeah.
And then you can expend a vial, essentially, of that poison when you create your withered creatures to essentially have it be the first time that they attack with, like, the first time they attack, that poison will, affect the creature attacks. They can turn any poison, like an ingested or, an ingested poison or a contact poison into an injury poison that your withered creatures can use.
You know?
It's only once, but it also uses your spell save DC instead of a set DC, which is the big bonus.
I need to review all my stuff again.
Oh, if only I'd rolled one more on my hit points,
Would you be at triple digits?
I would be at exactly 100.
That's deeply
shit.
disappointing.
I forgot to roll a hit dice, yeah.
I mean, you don't have to, as long as you do it for next time. That's kind of the main thing. As coming in,
Also, immune to frightened.
it's not like
He's
I'm
immune
doing
to
that
courage.
When
anyway.
we're close. Does it impact you more, Em, that I'm now permanently immune to disease and poison,
Yes.
including poison damage?
Yes.
50 movement speed too, which means
I mean,
I
I
can double.
can still do acid and necrotic damage as well as piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing, so that's something, but poison's a big
I'm
one.
After next level, because of the magic item I got ages ago, I'll also be immune to acid and necrotic,
I know.
and I'll actually heal it.
I know. But yes, you boys can level up in the background for next time, for next week, where you guys will be heading into this encampment. You'll get to see, well, who the Blight has taken, who the Blight has left, finding ways in, possibly splitting the party. That would be nice.
It always goes so
Nice.
well.
You might not really have a choice because two of you are going to stick out like a sore thumb.
That's me and you, Paul.
Oh, right.
As for now, whilst my boys get to level up to level 10, double digits, it is
Keep on score.
goodbye from me, and it is a goodbye from them.
Goodbye.
Toodles.
Toodles?